Raleigh broke out of his slump, and Randy Arozarena kept the hot streak up in the M's 10-2 win over the Astros last night. Cal was 0 for 38 before a seventh-inning single, for which the Mariners dugout erupted in applause. Arozarena drove him in with a double to make it 8-2, part of a four-hit night for Randy. He's hitting .333 over his last 15. Game 3 of 4 today at 5:10 p.m. It's the debut of Bryce Miller, who was activated earlier this morning. Pre-game show starts at 4 p.m. on Seattle Sports.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
The Mariners and Cal Raleigh showing signs of life. They already got a win in their first two. Game 3 today at 5:10. We're going to see the debut of Bryce, but let's talk about last night because Bump, after going 0 for 38, Cal finally broke out of it with this single in the top of the seventh.
Here comes the 1-1. Swung on, smoked into the gap right center field. It's down for a base hit. It's cut off by Matthews before getting to the track, and Cal Raleigh has a base hit. The dugout celebrating. And so's Cal. Everyone can feel great about that one. Cal Raleigh with a base hit.
I had admittedly texted you and Curtis maybe 10 minutes before saying, what if he never gets a hit again?
It was very doom and gloom in our group chat last night.
Very down bad.
Yeah, good for Cal. What I love most about it is that the acknowledgement from his teammates. Like, yes, you did it. We can stop talking about this. But I compared it to, it's like that Cal going 0 for whatever is like a smell that lingers in your kid's room. And you're trying to find it. Like, what is that? Like, what is this smell?
Oh, we have a
in this room?
Strict no food room in the
What did they
no
eat?
food in the room. Yeah.
Well, not in my household. Kids
You
be
have
eating
teenagers,
wherever they want
yeah.
to. Yeah. And, late night snacks and they'll forget stuff is there. So then you're smelling, you're like, it's there, but I cannot find it. And then you look behind the bed and it's this shriveled up orange that's been there for God knows how long. And you find it, you're like, yes, we got it. Remove it from the room. All is normal again. That's the way I looked at Cal. That stank was lingering for a long time. And he's looking for it. How do I get back to myself? Then he finds it. He almost found it last game.
He did.
Then he found it this game with 2 hits. Good for Cal. Get that stank off you.
Very fitting that you mentioned getting that stank off you because Cal also took a shower in full uniform. Brian Wu?
I'll give Logan a little bit of credit. He told Cal to go full uni shower yesterday, so it might have been a good call, and who knows, maybe that was a good influence.
Did he actually do that?
Yeah.
Cal gave Logan some credit for it.
Yeah, Logan gave me some good advice to wash off the bad mojo or juju from the baseball gods. So yeah,
It worked.
hey, he was right. So I gotta give him credit where credit's
You
due.
didn't shake him off. Yeah.
No, I listened to him for once.
Look, it's only weird if it doesn't work. Have you ever done anything like that where you're like something superstitious in a sport kind of thing? It doesn't have to be maybe a full shower uniform during a slump.
No, I was trying to think about if there's anything that I did when I was in a slump. And in football, slumps are different.
Oh, yeah.
Right? A slump for me would be dropping passes,
Yeah.
or not being able to field a punt. So what I would do, had nothing to do with superstition. It was just I would if I wasn't seeing the ball correctly and dropping the football, I would always try to find there's a cross at the point of the football where all the seams meet. And I just really focus on trying to find that. Even though 20 yards away, I'm not going to be able to see it. But if I lock in on the point and exaggerate my eyes, like I would catch the ball, frame it up for 3 seconds, and then watch it all the way to my tuck. It's hard. It's hard to do in football because the dynamics are different. So, no, I would just lock in on the ball a bit more. Easier to catch the ball than it is to hit it with a baseball bat.
Big picture with Cal getting not just 1 but 2 singles back-to-back yesterday was massive, especially with some hard-hit singles. That being said, big picture, this doesn't solve Cal's problem. Do you feel better about it, or was this just a good story?
I feel better about it.
Me too.
I think he needed to see that. He needed to feel that. As an athlete, man, all it takes is just a little glitch in the system to throw you off and a little feel in the body and the motion to get you going again. And you and I mentioned yesterday we felt like he showed that he was getting there. He squared a couple balls up. One was unlucky to end the game, or not in the game, but later on in the game. But no, I'm not saying he's fixed, but he is he's moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought that like you said, the fly out in his second AB was at 100 miles per hour. You mentioned that being really encouraging, obviously. And then the 2 singles, drew a walk. Like, that's a pretty productive day overall, 2 hits and a walk and a hard fly out. I don't think Cal's fully healthy, but I think that there's any improvement is encouraging. If he had continued to go 0 for 4 and he's grounding out and he's whiffing and he's striking out and it's atrocious, then we are still coming in today wondering, like, hey, Mariners, are you being totally honest here? Like, should he be on the IL? If this is grade 1, grade 2, an oblique strain or something, like, what's he doing? I know he has to catch, but, like, now you got a black hole in your lineup. That you're seeing improvement, even if he's not 100%, is at least good. I think the lingering question I have is whether or not there's any limitations on power. Like, look, it's 100 miles per hour off the bat for that fly out to center field. Does that leave the park if he's fully healthy? I don't know. I mean, maybe not 100 miles per hour off the bat's pretty solid, but so little questions like that. I'm like, okay, is there still some limitation to his power where his body is right now? I don't know. Let's move on though to a hot hitter right now. Randy Arozarena, 4 for 4 yesterday. A 2-run home run on top of the second put Seattle on the board.
Next offer. Swinging a high fly ball deep to left field. This one is going and goodbye baseball up by the tracks.
I guess that answers that question about his BP carrying over, right?
Randy Arozarena pumping his fist in the air as he rounds second on the tour around the bases. It comes with Cal Raleigh aboard, and the Mariners have a 2-0 lead here in the top of inning number 2, his 4th home run of the season. There's some Mariner fans here in Houston tonight. 2-0 Mariners.
Is it easier to deal with some questionable defense from Randy when he's hitting like this?
Yeah, when you do that, you're good.
Yeah, you're fine.
Know, if you gotta
drop that ball,
if you gotta, if you're a 7, but you got a great personality, you're good to go to events with.
Now you're 9.
8 at least.
At least.
You know what I mean? That's all I'm looking at Randy right now. Good for him. The last 7 days, he's been on a tear, man. Slashing 522, 577, 739, OPS and 1,300. I mean, this dude's been getting it. 6 for 8 this series, 3 RBIs, 1K, 1 home run. Randy's in the zone right now. He's in the zone. And it's nice to see Randy and Cal do something on the same day, because there's been a divide. Maybe this will bring the squad back together.
Did we all see the little meeting each other at the end?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I was like, well, I don't know if a curse is lifted or maybe that's just a good sign or what's happening. The vibes were just weird to start the season, but they did a little, their home run celebration that they would have where they're like doing the cross arms at each other. They did a little bit of that at the end. Go. I felt okay about that. I felt encouraged by that.
I like it.
I do too. Speaking of zones, let's talk about another Dom Canzone with a grand, with a grand slam.
Bases loaded. Here's the pitch. Swung on, blasted, right field. It is high. It is deep. It is gone. Grand slam. Dom Canzone, the first of his career. He has broken this open. It is 6-2 in Houston. Dom Canzone with a wallop.
5 RBI on the day for him. And do you know how close he was to another grand slam?
Very close.
Very close.
Very close. He, as soon as that ball was hit, it was gone. I mean, the velocity that was crazy. I think it was like 113 or something like that off the bat. I mean, he's, I was looking at on Baseball Savant, just his hitting ratings. You don't need to know anything about baseball. When you see red in any chart when it comes to baseball, your man's doing his thing. So good for Dom. What's crazy to me, too, is that the celebration was so calm. It was like, I've done this before. I think he gave a bit more when he got into the dugout. Me, personally, I would have been cool running the bases. As soon as I got to that dugout, I am talking my talk. Hey, the granny. I don't care who was on, who we're playing. That's good for Dom. I'm happy I got to see that.
I'm looking at the rest of my – what are you guys doing? What are you guys bringing? And then you're looking at Randy going, I'm 4 for 4.
Yeah,
what are you talking about? I'm bringing everything. Okay, so the Mariners end up winning 10-2. It is their 9th consecutive victory over Houston, which brings me to our next question here. Does it matter that Houston's pitching is and was last night absolutely atrocious? Ime is maybe the worst pitcher we've seen all year. And I'm pretty sure he was coming off an IL stint. Like, they tried to fix him, I think, if I read that right. I saw it somewhere, and it still isn't working. Do you read into that at all? Does it mean anything at all that they're doing this, that they're coming alive, that we're liking what we're seeing? Pitching looks great. Offense looks great against a horrible team. I think they're tied for the worst record in baseball.
Well, let me say this first. Low-key felt bad for Ime, however you say his name, because he just ain't got it. I mean, you're watching him pitch. You go, you just don't have it. Now, how do I feel about this? In select sports, they separate teams into brackets or divisions, like the gold division, best teams, silver division, good teams, bronze division, bad teams, and sometimes even have a copper or something like that for, all right, this is dang near wreck. And sometimes teams who are probably gold or silver status are just playing bad ball. Say gold bumps down to a silver and says, all right, let's get our game right. Silver bumps down to a bronze, let's get our game right. That's the way I saw this, was that right now they're playing, they should be gold, right? The Mariners, they should be in that gold division with all the expectations coming into the season, but they've been playing like a silver/bronze type of team. So what do? A good coach, he bumps his team down so they can get their mind right and work on the fundamentals and get some confidence, and you beat up on the bronze team. One tournament, one league session, and then you bump back up. That's the way I saw this. It's like, look, you playing a bronze type of team. You're silver, gold right now. We need to see this. You got to understand that Ime is not a good pitcher. I mean, he was giving it up on a Tuesday night. It was crazy. But what that does for the mental of your team, it reminds you of your capabilities. Now, you got to go out and play better against the better teams, but you also got to take care of the teams you're supposed to take care of. You did not do that last series. So go ahead and play in the bronze division, beat up on these guys, and you'll get bumped back up to silver gold.
I will say, they're going to get a chance to face gold right around the corner because the Padres are in first place, a half game up on the Dodgers in the National League West. So you are going from a team that is tied for the worst record in baseball to a team leading a pretty strong division, a half game up on the Dodgers. The pitching is doing a lot for them. The Dodgers are like outpacing them significantly in run differential, but Padres are getting done. You are going to get an immediate test to see whether you can carry momentum and carry that offensive production. You are not putting up 10 runs against the Padres, but can you keep winning?
Padres +1 in differential. Dodgers +59, and they still got to win. So that tells me that these guys are accustomed to winning close games, and that's something that the Mariners play most of the time, are close games. So, yeah, you got to test. There you go. You beat up on the bronze. Now you got to play the golds. Can this game transfer? Can you take it with you and go up against a formidable opponent?
Before we get to headline rewrites, Curtis, I'll bring the same question to you since we were all kind of making our predictions yesterday and talking about the Mariners getting momentum. Again, just 2 minutes before we get to headline rewrites, does it matter at all that you saw a flash of life for Cal and for the Mariners offense, but against a very bad team and bad pitching?
I think at this point, you take what you can get. And I don't think it matters that Cal's 2 hits came against an Astros team that's really scuffling. I don't think the Mariners think these 2 wins count less in the standings because they've come against a bad opponent here to start the season. I think you take what you can get at this point, especially with how tough the first month and a half has been for the Mariners. And you're like, all right, we're banking these. Like, they can't – these wins against the Astros count as much as a win against the Yankees or the Rays would. So I think there is nobody complaining about how they got these wins and how they've gotten this offense going here in this series.
Tell me what you guys think about this from the 425. Speaking of Dom Canzone's Grand Slam, they said petition to start calling Canzone homers Domps.
Nah, leave it alone.
What?
Don't associate it with
right.
It's too close to Big Dumper.
Oh, you think it's like when people do plays on Legion of Boom and you're like, let it die, leave it alone.
Nah.
I just think it's fun to say Domps. Domps. Domps.
I think
it feels
when
good.
Canzone hits a home run, they got to say Arrivederci baseball. That'd be pretty.
I like that.
Just Mamma Mia. They get really, really stereotypically Italian. I mean, he already does it with the, let's go, pinched fingers. Okay, fine. We won't use Domps, but I'll be thinking it. I'll be thinking it every time. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Headline Headline Rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one, the NFL announced their international slate of games earlier today, and the Seahawks will not be going overseas this season. What's the real headline?
Great news, Bump. You get to spend every week of the season with us.
Woohoo!
Woo!
Yeah!
Yay!
Hey, Bump.
So excited.
Good seeing you around the office.
We're so happy.
Yeah.
Excited. I see Curtis more than anybody in my life during football season. More than anybody in
It's
my
a beautiful
life.
friendship.
Which I don't mind, but
Oh.
you know, I don't
Doesn't
mind.
mind.
Don't mind.
6 days a week.
I don't mind when Curtis sends it to me. Let's go back to Michael Bumpus and the guys. Like I'm not
Here you
sitting
go,
right
Michael
next
Bumpus.
to him.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Curtis, from over across the desk.
I've sent it so far.
Oh man, it's unfortunate for me, but it is what it is. I'm so tired of Jacksonville getting 2 of them trips, but yeah, it makes sense. They're off the Florida coast, easy trip for those guys. Disappointing, but whatever. Let's just focus on the division now. I don't care. I didn't want to go anyway.
You sound like you care.
I didn't want to go anywhere. Who wants to go overseas?
You sound like you very much wanted to
Who
go.
wants to experience a different culture?
I know that when they could have gone to London or Mexico City, you were devastated to find out you weren't going.
Yeah.
Although now, because there are so many international games, the Seahawks are flying, what is it, the 9th or 10th most miles? Which
Yeah,
is
they got an easy travel schedule
shocking.
this year.
I mean, almost without fail, they're 1, maybe 2, 3. So,
Well, they're going to have far fewer 10 a.m. starts this year because they have road trips to Denver and Vegas
yeah.
instead of a couple of East Coast games. So that'll be nice.
Oh, bomb can zone. I'm so stupid. I'm
Wow.
so dumb.
Did they put it in as DOMS though? No, you just flipped it?
No, they said bomb can zone instead
Yeah.
of DOMS.
Yeah, bombs is better.
Bomb can zone is
that what
much
they meant?
better. Yeah, and then no, they said DOMS. Someone else said DOMS, and they meant DOMS, which was fun to say. But bomb can zone is better. What's next?
Headline Rewrites.
Headline number two, Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark and ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips are publicly supporting a 2014 college football playoff. What's the real headline?
Of course, it's the power conferences that aren't the SEC or Big Ten that feel that way. Not shocked at all. Of course, you want your schools back in there. Florida State back in there.
We know what
Clemson
this is
back in
about.
there.
We know what this is about, man. They dress it up as, oh, Tulane, Chattanooga. All these schools are going to have a chance to get in. No, they're not.
No, it's not.
You're going to pick like the 12th team out of your 16-team conference and
Yes.
say, you know what? You get an invite. Money-wise, it makes sense. Competition-wise, it doesn't. I never complain with more football. I hope that it was for the little guy. And the reason why I wouldn't want the little guy to be in is because the little guy does not win in college football. In basketball, it can happen. Maybe in golf, it could happen. In tennis, it could happen. In football, it does not work that way. You have a 285-pound defensive lineman going up against an undersized offensive lineman. Personnel matters. There's only so many big people. Where these small schools can compete, if it were 7-on-7 and you had no trenches, for sure. There's great wide receivers and DBs everywhere. But the bigs are just different. You don't find those guys everywhere. We know what this is about. More football, I guess, but let's be real.
Now, what's unfortunate is when it comes to expansion for March Madness, they're claiming kind of the same thing where it's like, let the little guys in. And you are right in that would make the tourney even more interesting and that those guys maybe stand a chance. But it is, once again, only to get a 500 SEC team in.
Stacey, they don't stand a chance.
They don't.
Like, Boise State is a special case over there.
The first weekend of the college football playoff already is usually blowout city. Like
Yes.
and that's with a 12-team playoff. You're not seeing a lot of competitive games in the first round. It usually doesn't get competitive until about the semifinals. 24-team college football playoff, that's going to be some brutal watches, especially when you have like the 8th ranked team in the country going up against number 24. I don't want to see that.
Headline Rewrites.
Headline number 3, the Kraken have partnered with the Sportsology Group, a totally real company, to perform an audit of their entire hockey operations department. What's the real headline?
They could have saved themselves some money on this one because I think a 5-year-old could tell you what's wrong with this team. Bump, you need to score goals in hockey.
Listen, just get hockey people around the team. Get guys who have done this, who have played the game, who have coached the game, who know the game. Sometimes I think we complicate things. I get that data is great, and numbers can give you a perspective. But there's nothing like talking to people who have actually done this and have had some type of success. That's the thing with technology. I appreciate it. It makes our job easier sometimes, but sometimes it complicates it. Just talk to hockey people. Get hockey people who've done this at a high level in your building and help them get your process on point.
Who do we talk to? Oh my God, it wasn't that long ago.
Jeff Merrick?
Yes, thank you. And he mentioned, we were talking to him about, like, well, what do the Kraken do? Like, they're not going to suddenly tank. They can't really get away with doing that to, like, get this talent in the draft. And then you have to worry about the lottery, too. Like, you're not guaranteed it. But then also they aren't really outspending. And he was like, be more aggressive with trades. And that maybe Jason Botterill will be willing to do that. Do you guys see that as being something they can pursue this offseason?
Well, we've heard they're already shopping out some of the young talent, which is good. I mean, Shane Wright is crazy. He's been in the league 3 or 4 years now. Remember, he was just a baby.
He's only like 22, I think.
Right? Yeah. Remember, he was just a baby playing at Coachella.
Yeah.
Now look at him, up for trade bait. But that's what you need to do. Get rid of these young guys. Get some veterans here. Draft again. But it just comes down to knowing the game.
Yeah.
And scouting.
Well, and I think, look, a lot of people, clearly they know hockey, right? GMs, coaches, former players, been around, whatever. But it's about getting a type of urgency and aggressiveness there. Like the first couple years, you talked about this yesterday, you were like, now that they're in year 6 or 7 or whatever it is, it's not about like just feel good, like, oh, look at this new thing we're introducing. Like, you need to start acting like you want to be a contender.
You gotta be aggressive.
You have to be more aggressive. So it's not about not, understanding. It's about knowing how things are right now and how to compete right now.
You know what it's
not
like,
about
Stacey?
building up a culture.
You know what it's like? It's like hole 17 at Echo, okay? You're down 2 strokes.
Bump.
It's a long par 4. There's water in the middle. Am I going to lay up? No, I'm down 2 strokes. I got to be aggressive. I got to hit it over the water about 190 yards, landing on the green, and apply some pressure.
We could have done this whole segment.
PGA tournament starts tomorrow. Get with it.
We could have gone the whole hour even without you mentioning golf.
Impossible.
I don't know.
Impossible.
I don't know that it's the best analogy.
Not for you, but my golfers, they get it.
Donnie bombs. That makes it sound like you're saying he's bombing.
No.
Don Bomb.
About hitting bombs.
Don Bomb sounds
all about
cooler.
hitting bombs.
Right,
bombs.
but Don Bomb sounds cooler than Donnie Bomb.
Nah, I like Donnie.
As TJ in the 425 points out, Bomb Can Zone and Nuke Rayleigh.
Ooh.
I like that I like that.
Yeah.
I like that duo. Bomb Can Zone, Luke Rayleigh. Now I need nicknames for every single person in the lineup.
Hey, that should be a homework assignment for the listeners. Come up with a
full lineup of nicknames, including
lineup.
existing ones. You don't need a new one for Cal, right? For guys that already have them, you don't need to think of something else.
Yeah, Cal's good. Cal has his.
Yeah, Dumper's not changing, but because then when they hit a home run, Bomb Can Zone is so much better than what was it before? Domps. It sounded good though. It is fun to say. I encourage everyone to try it. It's fun, right?
How's it correlate? Make it make sense.
Because they're saying it's like a dump into right field. They're making a play on Dumper, I think.
Yeah. See, that's where my brain shuts it off. It's
Okay,
like, no, that
that's
belongs
fair.
to Cal.
And that's fair. And that's totally fair. Then we'll go Bomb Can Zone and we'll figure out the rest later. You're listening to Bump and Stacy.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Someone got on me.
Yeah.
It's PGA Championships, not the PGA Tournament. You call yourself a golfer? Hey, you speak 100,000 words to be perfect, okay? Thank you. All right, go ahead, sis.
Yeah, thanks. You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Coming up, the NFL claims that almost 90% of their games are available for free on TV. But one analyst explains why that's actually wrong. That's next.
Think you know the Mariners? Not if you aren't subscribed to the Daily Mariners newsletter from Seattle Sports.
That's what they've been waiting for.
The latest Mariners news and injury updates, exclusives from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
You look at the pieces and how it works.
Plus the best takes and breakdowns from your favorite Seattle Sports hosts and contributors.
The Mariners seem to be trying to build something that I think is a little bit more sustainable.
The Daily Mariners newsletter.
Monster solo home run.
Subscribe at seattlesports.com/newsletter.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Well, spring is all about getting ready for summer, isn't it? Hey, Brock Heward here. And working out in your own home, well, it is the best. We've been doing so for years. And you can allow Top Fitness to create your own home gym. And right now, get spring special financing with 0% interest for 12 months. Plus, mention me and receive an $150 credit towards any purchase over $1,000. Spring is here. So go get into Top Fitness with locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or simply visit topfitness.com for more info.
This Memorial Day, feel the freedom of lower energy bills. Lake Washington Windows and Doors is taking $525 off every window, plus $1,000 off every patio or entry door. Plus, enjoy 12 months free financing. LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Have a troublesome tree in need of removal? P&D Tree Service is up to the task. Local experts in tree removal for residential and commercial. If it's 1 tree or 15 trees, close quarters or land clearing, call P&D Tree. They'll get the job done safely and quickly, turning multi-day jobs into a few hours, saving you time and money. They'll clear trees away from homes to help you save on home insurance. They specialize in large tree removal. Ever see a tree removed by crane? PNDTreeservice.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Will?
When I was 50, my whole life fell apart. I lost my job, I lost my wife, I lost the house, I lost pretty much everything except for my life. When the IRS came calling, I just didn't have it in me. I felt like Wile E. Coyote, just waiting for that IRS anvil to drop.
Then Will found tax relief advocates.
I heard their advertisement on the radio, I wrote down the number, and I made the call that changed everything. The IRS gave me a bill for $40,000. Tax Relief Advocates got that down to $3,200. I've paid 9 cents on the dollar. Now that's a great deal in anybody's book.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Will did and call TRA for a consultation.
But for me, the real win is I got my life back.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-488-2578. 800-488-2578. That's 800-488-2578.
Mariners and Astros today in Houston. 5:10 first pitch, 4 o'clock pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack and a $6 Biggie bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. $4, $6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Guys, I'll never forget the first time I saw somebody get results at our clinic. He was an 81-year-old man who hadn't been intimate with his wife in over 8 years. Viagra had stopped working for him, and he was desperate for help. After several treatments, he walked into my office and told me he couldn't believe the results. Needless to say, this was a very happy man. This man made me a believer in what we do. He had taken pills for years, but he had never fixed the problem. When he came to us, we fixed the problem. Our treatment does what no pill can do. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. Change your life today like the thousands of men who already have.
In addition to treating ED and Peyronie's disease, we now offer testosterone replacement therapy. With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bump Stacy.
weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Bump listeners responding to your requests for some Mariners nicknames for the whole lineup. We have way more for Dom. Dom Slam Zone.
All right.
Dom Bomb Jovi.
Low key like that one.
Yeah. Luke Rakely.
It's a reach, but I see what you're doing.
Yes, I think
You're
Nuke
right,
Rayleigh is just perfect.
Nuke is the one. How about this? Throughout the show, we get the ones that we like and we write them down until we have the full lineup for the day.
Okay, I like that. Let me make the argument for one more from you for a listener so I know whether or not to include it. JP Clawford, because he's scrappy.
JP.
Okay, that one.
JP
I'll take that one off the.
Because he be getting on base and they gotta be walking as you know what off.
You know what? Just if you guys have ideas, send them in, and we're going to continue this conversation and look at whether or not the NFL is spreading itself too thin with their schedule. The NFL has made it a talking point, and honestly, I've kind of been like in their corner with this one. Not in their corner, but to me, the NFL is the most accessible league. There aren't local blackouts for your team when you're in that geographic area. Despite some of the lawsuits that people have tried to file against the league, I find it to be pretty accessible. And the NFL has made it a talking point that 87%, nearly 90% of their games are available on free TV, which sounds good. But Bump. Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio says that math is not mathin'.
This talking point that has been making the rounds now and is starting to stick with some people in the media who aren't thinking critically. 87% of the games are available on free TV. That's become the basically leave us alone.
Yeah.
87% of the games are on free TV. And it sounds great. And you've got people who do what we do for a living who are signing on to that and parroting it. But the big thing that we're missing, most of those games are clustered into 3 windows on a Sunday, where you're going to get at most 3
You're
games.
right. So it's a fake.
You're not getting the rest of them unless you get
87%.
Sunday tickets.
You're
So
right.
they're on free TV.
Yeah.
But you ain't getting 87% of them.
No.
I'm not getting 87%. Nobody's getting 87% of the games for free.
So he's saying it's kind of a misleading thing there, because what you're actually getting if you live in Seattle is the Seahawks game. And then you get maybe 2 options for a morning game or an option for a morning game. And then, of course, everyone's going to have Sunday night football or whatever.
Right.
But you're getting 3 to 4 games. You're not getting 90% of the games that you can watch.
No, what they're saying is it's available on free TV, but probably not where you are.
Yeah, but not to you.
Yeah, it's out there. It's out there.
In the abstract.
And it's free, but the ones that you want to watch are outside of your local team. There's a chance that you're not going to be able to watch those games.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. It's all wordplay. And I'm sure it's they talked about this with their lawyers and made sure we can phrase it this way, right? Because technically it is true. But also, what's the solution, right? I mean, you got to get game ticket. Red Zone will condense all those games for you. But Fox can't sit there and just say, all right, well, in this region, we're going to broadcast this game just for you. They almost have to move that way. I think the problem is not with how they're moving, but just how they're presenting it. The presentation is kind of off. But the reality around it is most teams most fans in this region want to watch the Seahawks play. They want to see what the Rams are doing. They want to see what the Niners are doing. Yeah, you have your fans. I got a bunch of family members who are Cowboys fans. They want to see what they're doing.
Sorry.
A couple of Patriots fans who want to see what they're doing. But you have to coordinate all this with the majority. And I think that's what the NFL has done. And there's nothing really that they can do about this.
Well,
it's the presentation is all jacked up.
I think the big issue that a lot of people are having, though, with this 87% number is that it used to be 100%. It used to be every game was available on network television, and now it's not. And then you look at the number of standalone games the NFL is going to have. There are, just quickly counting here, I believe 15 separate dates this year that are outside of a Sunday night or a Monday night or a Thursday night, which is kind of the 3 main weeks or 3 main days on the NFL calendar. There's a Wednesday night, obviously Wednesday night, the NFL opening night where the Seahawks play. And then you've got the Australia game. Now you're adding a Thanksgiving Eve game this year, which is a Wednesday. You've got the Black Friday game, which I believe is the 3rd year they've done this. And then you've got a bunch of Saturday games. And like we've seen the Christmas Day slate get moved to Netflix. It feels like that 87% number that the NFL is throwing out there as though this is a good thing. It feels like that number is getting smaller and smaller every single year, to where what we have known forever with the NFL is that you can watch games locally on network television. That might not be the case anymore, and that, I think, is a big concern to a lot of consumers.
I do wonder how much of this they start to take to more exclusive streaming things. Does it start to be that you get Seahawks for free if you're watching locally, but that, like, games outside of that one, you know, maybe they have an extended partnership with Amazon Prime, or maybe you have to pay like a league minimum, like, oh, it's $15 a month, and then you get access to, you know, a handful of other games that are broadcast. Like, I do wonder if it goes there. But another part of me, you guys, I'm going to be totally honest, there's this, everyone's going to hate this, there's this aspect of kind of like a capitalism and like a market where you're like, well, what does the NFL owe people if they're a business? Do they owe people making their product completely free, or do they owe people more transparency about how not free their product is? I think it's the latter. Like, I don't know that they owe people, hey, everyone gets Red Zone for free. Everyone gets Sunday Ticket for free. What they do owe people is a little more honesty about how much of their product you have to actually pay separately to watch.
I think that's what it is. But I also think that the NFL is shifting how they do things according to the market. How many of us in here have cable right now? You know, no one has cable, right? We use all these streaming services. So the NFL was like, all right, well, if that's the way we're going, because when everything was free, we all had cable. We all had a cable box and we watched it. So NFL was like, all right, well, if everyone's going streaming, well, let's cut a deal with Amazon. Let's cut a deal with Netflix, and let's cut a deal with whoever the heck else, Paramount or whatnot, and streaming against that way. And with adjusting to the market, they're also isolating a certain amount of people. Because why do I have 3 streaming services, right? So I can watch every game that I want to watch. It's unfair. It costs more than cable now because the pitch with streaming was, all right, it's less than cable. You get streaming services, bam, you're good, you get all this stuff. But because of entities like the NFL, like MLB, like the NBA, they control the market. Okay, all right, if everyone's going streaming, we're going to put 30% of the games here, 30 there, and they got to go find it.
Now you have
so
to
it's an adjustment to what the market is doing, but it also makes it unfair at the same time.
Curtis, is your fear that there will be more standalone games that will then be put on these streaming platforms, or is your fear that the NFL is going to just stop making those 2-3 extra non-Seahawks games free?
I think the more games that you put behind a paywall,
the more they realize,
the more that you're going to lose, I think, the casual viewer. Because, like, a lot of us pay for Amazon to watch Thursday Night Football. A lot of us pay for Netflix to watch, you know, the Christmas Day games or whatever. But, like, if your team's not in it, if your team's not playing on Thursday Night Football and you don't have an Amazon account, I don't think you're going to shell out the money to go buy the Amazon Thursday night package or whatever just to watch 2 teams that you don't care about. I think that's the beauty of network television, is that you have access to it if you just have an antenna. You have access to it in a lot of different ways than you do with these streaming services, and it's a much better way for you to catch the the casual viewer, which I think the NFL still relies heavily upon. Not everybody who watches an NFL game is a diehard fan. It's usually people that are like, I like the Seahawks, like, I'll tune in. I'm not going to tune into a Packers Commanders game, but I'll tune into my Seahawks.
I do wonder what that barrier is going to be for people. The 360 says, well, essentially it's pay-per-view, and pay-per-view killed boxing. I think that the NFL has just a different grip on the world and the country. But I mean, shoot, boxing used to be that way, but not in the media market and not in the country as it is today. And I don't think it kills the NFL to have more of those games. I do think you get people a little more irritated, and I think the most important thing the NFL can do right now is stop hammering home that line that, as Mike Florio points out, is clearly not true.
When they came out with that stat and that line, I just imagine, you've seen the show Mad Men, I just imagine them sitting around a desk and someone coming in, like when they were pitching Coca-Cola, like, oh, we figured it out, we found it, this is the way to present our company in a certain light, when really they're not telling the complete truth.
You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Coming up, let's find out if me, Matt, or Curtis made the list of the top 3 things annoying Bump this week. He's got a rant coming your way next.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcast.
Holy smokes, what a play!
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Dave Wyman here, and you've heard me talk about a local company for over a year now I really love working with, Harley Exteriors. You can expect a no-pressure consultation. They're great people to work with, and their windows are beautiful. I recently met with them, and I was excited to hear about the many Seattle sports listeners they've worked with. And now Harley Exteriors has stepped up with a can't-miss offer. Right now, get $450 off each new window, $1,000 off each patio or entry door, 12-month or 18-month no interest, no payment options, plus $200 off your final project total. If that isn't enough to get you started on a new project, I don't know what is. Schedule a consultation just like I did. Give them a call at 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Minimum purchase of 4 windows required for window discount. Qualifying windows must be 36 by 36 or larger. No size minimum on patio or entry doors. Financing subject to credit approval. Cannot be combined with other offers outside this promotion. Offer valid through May 31st.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Hey, it's G. Scott. Let's talk real for a sec. Summer is supposed to be about sunshine and kids having fun. But when the kids are home all day, that grocery bill, yeah, it grows fast. That's why I want you to know about Sunbucks and why our friends at Safeway are helping get the word out. If your family qualifies, you can receive $120 per child to spend on groceries this summer. Food in your cart and a little less pressure on that budget. And let me be clear about this. There's no catch, no judgment. This program is simply about making sure kids have enough to eat when school is out. Here's the important part. Many families are enrolled automatically, and a card may already be headed to your mailbox. But some families do need to apply depending on income and where you live. So take a couple minutes and check. Visit freesummermeals.org. That's freesummermeals.org. Safeway, looking out for your family this summer. Once again, that's freesummermeals.org.
Digging in my yard, trying to lay a pipe. I hit a water line and now I have to pay a big fine. I should have called 811.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. With burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and local service, our promise to the Puget Sound remains the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
Mariners and Astros today in Houston. 5:10 first pitch, 4 o'clock pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Spring is a season homeowners start improving their homes. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. If your home needs roofing, siding, new windows, gutters, or decking, our team can take care of it all. For a limited time, save up to $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows project. Planning multiple upgrades? Combine your projects and save even more. Or with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. You can start your project now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Ooh, that face. Quantum Fiber Internet loves that face.
That's Jamila.
Hey, Jamila.
She's thinking outside the box from inside the box.
Quantum Fiber Wi-Fi keeps her meeting game strong. From the back door to the front lawn.
Rushing all of her video calls. Back to back to back video calls.
Quantum Fiber Internet blowing the soxies up all those people in all those boxes. Yay to you.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Additional pods may be needed to achieve Wi-Fi coverage in some locations. Limited availability. Service in select locations only.
You're 62 or older, lots of equity in your home, and you want to pull some cash out, but a refinance or HELOC, well, it means a bigger payment. And the cost of selling your home, it's insane. So what should you do? Hey, Brock Ewart here for Tila Mortgage. You don't need to live at a lower standard than you deserve. You really got 3 options. Number 1, sell your home. 2, get a HELOC or refinance. Or 3, get a reverse mortgage. Tila has done the analysis and believes that a reverse mortgage is the most cost-effective way for seniors to get cash out of their homes without selling and having the option of no monthly mortgage payment. Too good to be true? No. Call today and let's compare. Tila, spelled Tila, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Give them a call today. 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
TilaMortgage.com.
Insurance and property taxes are borrower's responsibility. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up in 15 minutes, talking Mariners with Yahoo Sports' Jordan Shusterman. Before we get to that, though, Bump, it's Wednesday. It's 10:45, and that means you got 3 things just to get off your chest. What's grinding your gears?
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Here's one that I just got right now. I got extra 3. Someone says, we're talking about golf, and 206 says, I'm not saying it's not a sport. And has no, what they say? They say, sorry, Bump Stacy's right. Golf isn't a sport. It's a game.
I didn't say that.
And it belongs in a category with other games like bowling, billiards, and darts. And I said, look, can you walk 18, swing the club 100 times and not be fatigued? Like, there's a reason why Tiger Woods, with his leg all messed up, cannot play golf because it's fatigue. It's hard on your body. So just adjust it a little bit. I get billiards because you're sitting there throwing darts. But anyway, that's not my first one. Just wanted to get that off my chest real quick.
Okay.
But I appreciate the back and forth, 206. All right, first one. Instagram just knows who you are. Like, knows who you are. The algorithm just freaking gets you. And ever since I turned 40, I've been getting, like, young people telling me about testosterone levels. Like, hey, this is what you're doing. You're killing your testosterone. You're doing this. I'm like, bro, you look like you're 30 years old, okay? Don't be going on Instagram or Instagram feeding me these feeds with these young men talking about, do this if you want more testosterone. I go, no, get me like a 50-year-old guy, 45-year-old guy who isn't all ripped up, average dude, still in good shape, but not all ripped up, and you tell me what the secret is. Instagram, and a lot of those are AI, too. I'm getting better at recognizing AI, and AI is getting
Proud
better.
of you.
AI is getting better.
At recognizing you.
Getting better. But I just don't like what the algorithm is feeding me right now.
Oh,
it's like,
man.
I'm 40. I feel good. I still go to the gym. I got energy. I wake up. I'm moving. Don't send me no 30-year-old talking about this is what you do if you want to keep your testosterone. Fool, you got about 10 more years till that thing really hits you. All right, so Instagram, fix your algorithm. All right, or fix mine. All right, I'm begging you. I'm talking to my phone right now. Instagram, I do not need testosterone on my algorithm right now. All right, because I don't know what it is about me turning 40. As soon as I turn 40, it's different. You know what I want to see? I want to see golf. I want to see kids falling. I want to see just stand up. Like, you should know me by now, Instagram. So something's wrong with my algorithm. Get this testosterone stuff away from me. But if there's a company who wants to do a deal, I will try out your product, and I will let you know how I feel in a month or 2.
I was going to say, does your algorithm know your age, Bob?
It knows everything. I mean
that might be why.
Be careful.
That might be why.
Be careful.
Just like last week when the phone was talking to Stacy, you know, and it responded to a question and said, you are 5 whatever feet tall.
Me.
It scared you. Yeah. The phone's getting crazy. So anyway, just IG. Come on, man.
Your algorithm said, are you old? Do your knees hurt?
Right? I'm like, yeah.
They do.
They do hurt.
What's next?
All right.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Watching these playoff games, and I love when the kids interact with the player. right? Player walking off the court and gives him a high five. I saw Wemby give his jersey to a kid. I'm like, that's great. That's what it's all about. But what I don't like is these vulture parents sitting there urging their kids to get the guy's attention. And then they have this sign, hi, you're my favorite player. This is my first game. I'm looking at the sign. I go, that parent made that sign. Like, if you really want the essence of the player-kid interaction, make your kid draw the sign and have him present it. You stand in the back, right? Make your kid work for it. Your kid is cute enough, right? Little kids like under 10 years old, most likely they're going to get some type of attention, especially if you're near the tunnel, and it's just the parents like pushing them and pushing them. And then I saw Wemby give his jersey to a kid. The kid gave it to his dad, and then the dad tried to sell it like weeks later on eBay or something like that. It's just, let's be genuine with these interactions, because that's why a lot of these athletes just walk by people and don't acknowledge them because there's so many vultures out there. I saw a video of what's the young lady that went to UW, shooter? One of the great
Kelsey Plum.
Thank you, Kelsey Plum.
Oh.
I saw a video of her checking a guy. She walks into her hotel, and a guy standing there with a binder full of her cards and asks her to sign. She goes, dude, you don't think that's weird? Like, you're just standing outside, being a vulture and asking for these autographs? She goes, I'll sign one, and then let's move on. And maybe some people do this for their business and as a job, but it takes away just the true essence of just fan and athlete interaction. You want it to be genuine. So parents, man, I guess help your kids out with the sign, but make them do the work. You put them in front, because that moment is for them. It's not for you. And the more commercial we get when it comes to athletics, the more I see this, and I just hate it because, you know, back when we were growing up, there was no social media. Like, everything, it felt a bit more pure. But now it's all a hustle, and I can't stand it. It's
also just like, imagine how much, like, who was your favorite athlete when you were younger? Or
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant. Imagine how much it would have meant to, you know, a 14-year-old Bump if Kobe handed you his cleats. You'd be like, this is incredible. Or 10-year-old, you know, or if you were younger than that and you were, you know, I don't know, if like Michael Jordan came up to you as a kid and gave you something, that's something you'd want forever and ever.
Yeah.
And so what athletes are intending when they give that stuff out is like, this means the world to this kid. And the intention is that kid have it and keep it. And maybe he has dreams of being an athlete, whatever it is. And instead, what happens so much, you're right, is that the parents end up taking it and selling it. I find it more gross rather than just people who get the card signed and sell them, and they're at least upfront about it being them. You're right. When they push the kids in front, and then it's clearly them using their kid to get things.
Yeah, cute little Bobby out there getting merchandise for you. You're taking it and selling it.
Weirdo.
Come on, man.
What's last?
I'm a man. I'm 40.
I drive a truck, and I can't imagine driving a sedan, like a smaller car. Even like a little Bronco, a cute little Bronco. You gave me a ride the other day. I'm like, oh, this is nice, cool in here, right?
Cute.
Like
my Bronco Sport from Wayscar Ford.
Like you know, like mid-size SUVs or whatnot, fine. But Mini Coupes, why? Why are Mini Coupes out there? Like Mini Coupes. If you're a Mini Coupe driver, tell me what the attraction is. Because I can imagine how unsafe you feel on the 405 driving with all this action going on around you. And then the worst part about Mini Coupes, I'm driving in the parking lot. I go, oh, that spot's open. Hit the right. Boom, there's a Mini Coupe right there. You can't see the Mini Coupe. All right, you keep playing with my emotions in the parking lot. And then I see you squeeze into these little spots. I'm like, dang, that's convenient. But I would just feel so vulnerable out there on the block, on the streets, on the highway, the freeways, driving a Mini Coupe. Someone who has a Mini Coupe, text in and tell me what the attraction is, because I don't get it. It looks unsafe. You play tricks on people in the parking lot. You must be single. You can't fit your family back there. You must just be you and a dog or somebody. But I just don't get the infatuation with Mini Coupes. The main thing is they get me every time in the parking lot because I think there's a spot open and there's a little two-door sitting there waiting to laugh at me.
Do you guys, I wanted a Mini Cooper so bad. Do you guys remember The Italian Job with Charlize Theron and is it Mark Wahlberg? Right? Anyway, The Italian Job, anyone?
Yeah.
Matt, thank you.
Sure.
Do you know how cool Mini Coopers were in that movie? They were using them to like drive underground in the sewers. They looked so cool. They were going on like high-speed chases and stealing gold with these Mini Coopers. And they were like the coolest looking cars. It felt very European bank heist.
I mean, I get it, right? The gas is probably good.
Yeah.
You can fit in small spaces.
I just feel like hamsters could be driving them.
I don't feel safe.
They're even a little too small for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't be a small person in a small car.
Then you run the risk of looking like Stuart Little.
Then I'm going to look absurd. I am. You're right, Curtis. I'm going to look like Stuart Little. I'm going to pull up and get out of this car, and someone's going to be like, this is like a regular-sized car and a regular-sized person shrunk down. It's very confusing.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that one.
Minis.
Yahoo Sports' Jordan Shusterman joins us next.
Think you know the Mariners? Not if you aren't subscribed to the Daily Mariners newsletter from Seattle Sports.
That's what they've been waiting for.
The latest Mariners news and injury updates, exclusives from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
You look at the pieces and how it works.
Plus the best takes and breakdowns from your favorite Seattle Sports hosts and contributors.
The Mariners seem to be trying to build something that I think is a little bit more sustainable.
The Daily Mariners newsletter.
Monster solo home run.
Subscribe at seattlesports.com/newsletter.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in the Seattle area. If you're looking to grow your faith, your finances, and your future in 2026, this is the event you don't want to miss. LifeSurge is coming to the Angel of the Winds Arena on Saturday, May 16th for a powerful one-day experience designed to equip you to multiply your resources for kingdom impact. You'll hear from some of the most respected voices in faith, leadership, and business, including two-time national champion Tim Tebow, Super Bowl champion and entrepreneur Russell Wilson, Robert Herjavec, and Damon John from ABC's Shark Tank, star of CNBC's The Prophet Marcus Lemonis, and Sage Steele from The Sage Steele Show, along with Christian music icon Natalie Grant. This is your final chance to secure tickets for one of the most inspiring events coming to the Seattle area this year. Grow spiritually, grow financially, grow personally, all in one unforgettable day. LifeSurge is happening Saturday, May 16th at the Angel of the Winds Arena. Get your tickets now at lifesurge.com. That's lifesurge.com. And don't wait.
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
If you're building decks in Washington this season, you need materials you can trust and a supplier who delivers. Par Lumber carries premium TimberTech and Trex composite and PVC decking, railing, and lighting. Visit par.com to learn more. Par, where the builders go.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-9087. 800-575-9087. That's 800-575-9087 or simply visit TRA.com.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like
Customizing car insurance just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune, Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. Cause 30 told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. I'll always trust in Limu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
The Camping World Ultimate RV Show is coming to Angel of the Winds RV Resort in Seattle. Parking and admission are free. Join us May 14th to the 17th to shop special show pricing on over 200 fully staged new and used RVs. Get an exclusive first look at new models. Check out the latest gear and accessories. Bring the family to enjoy our Kids Zone and enter to win a new RV. Don't miss the Ultimate RV Show in Seattle, May 14th to the 17th. We'll see you there.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Cal Raleigh broke his slump and Randy Arozarena stayed hot in the M's 10-2 win over the Astros last night. Cal was 0 for 38 before a seventh-inning single for which the Mariners dugout erupted in applause. Arozarena drove him in with a double to make it 8-2, part of a four-hit night for Randy, who's hitting .333 over his last 15. Game 3 today at 5:10 p.m., the debut of Bryce Miller.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. While we will begin this hour with some baseball talk, we are going to get into a fun conversation at noon, and it is begging for some listener contributions here because maybe I'm not like confident in my choices. Maybe I need some help. We're going to do some NFC West rankings coming up in an hour. Tell me if I'm missing any categories, if you guys think. I've got offense, defense, quarterback, coach, wide receiver, and then we'll go GM/front office, what have you. And we're going to rank NFC West teams 1 through 4, obviously. Sorry to the Arizona Cardinals, who unfortunately will probably be coming into last in quite a few of these categories. But it does become a fascinating conversation about where the Seahawks stack up in their own division, where they have advantages, and where they don't. So that's coming up at noon. A pretty NFL-heavy hour. Taking a look at some headlines around 12:30. Wondering at 12:45, have the Seahawks become a destination team? Brian Baldinger is going to join us. How much would you love to do just like watching film with Brian? You guys would be such nerds together.
It'd be a dream come true.
So much highlighter pen used in that, just like right over a video screen. We're going to be joined in just a minute by Yahoo Sports' Jordan Shusterman. I'm so excited to not have to ask Jordan when Cal will be okay. I mean, yes, you don't know that his timing is fixed, but Bump, there was something encouraging about a hard hit liner on Tuesday. A hard hit fly out before two singles, one of which was a pretty hard hit single. Like, I'm feeling encouraged.
Yeah, you just needed to see it. And you needed to see it so you felt like there was progress being made. I mean, we were searching. The game before this, we're searching. We're saying, all right, that was a fly out. All right, he got a hold of that one. And it's just for confidence. So, Kyle, get your swag back. Glad we saw you hit a couple yesterday.
Oh, listener suggestion. So, Bump for noon, I'm replacing GM with special teams.
All right.
Okay, so special teams as per the request of listeners. So that'll be one of our categories, too. That is coming your way in an hour. Right now, we're talking baseball, talking Mariners with Yahoo Sports' Jordan Shusterman joining us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Hey, Jordan, how's it going?
Happy Wednesday, guys. How about this? Cal Raleigh, for that was a lot of games without a hit. How about that?
It was. I texted the three of us, me, Bump, and our producer Curtis, have a thread, and I text them a lot of worries about teams that we cover, and one of them was, what if Cal never gets a hit again? And Jordan, I knew that wouldn't be true. I knew that wouldn't happen, but there was one AB early Tuesday where he was once again swinging at something outside the zone up high, and I was like, he's not laying off. Like, what if this doesn't change? So thankfully that didn't end up being true, as any knowledgeable baseball person would tell me it wouldn't. But I wanted to ask you not just about seeing him break the slump, but about some of the more recent ABs you've seen. What to you is an issue, and what has he seemed to be starting to fix?
Yeah, no, we were all thinking it. We were all saying, like, man, what if he just goes over? What if this is just it? Never gets a hit again. No, I think we sort of touched on this. It was so clearly a timing thing, and maybe that is the kind of problem that you deal with when you have the interrupted spring training. And then what was so disappointing was that it seemed like he was starting to find that, right? He had that 5 or 6 homers and 7 or 8 game stretch, and it looked like it was starting to come together. But just the amount that he was whiffing on pitches that he's just been crushing the last few years has been so troubling. But I think if that is something as opposed to not recognizing pitches, Cal was chasing a lot even last season. I know he walked a lot, but that was also because by obviously last season towards the end, there were pitches that were so nowhere near that teams were just pitching around him. But I also think in this case, he was just completely whiffing on things in the zone. And so now you start to see him start to do more damage on that was more concerning than him like flailing at a pitch outside, because sometimes he would do that even last season. But when he was missing pitches in the zone, I think that was what was so concerning.
So I described last night's game as, in the select sports world, there's different brackets for different teams: gold, silver, bronze. And like, all right, well, they beat up on a bronze type of team, and they are, the Mariners, a silver gold type of team. And, the question is, what do we take from that? And I'm in the stance of, look, this is professional sports. You got to go out there and play against these guys. I don't care who's on the mound. And mentally, it could do something for this team to remind them, like, all right, we are capable of lighting teams up. How do you digest what you saw yesterday in these past 2 games, I would say?
Yeah, I mean, I think the history between the Mariners and Astros is just so fascinating that any amount of this degree of domination, I know they've had success against them in recent seasons, but, starting the year 6-0 like this, you mentioned them as a bronze team. I mean, maybe this comes back to bite me. It's a long season, but at that point, that feels pretty generous as to what the Astros have looked like this season.
That's fair.
But hey, at the same time, I mean, we saw what they looked like on Saturday and Sunday. Seattle, and the White Sox are clearly better. The White Sox are clearly not the team that they have been the last few seasons. They have real things that can beat you. But it just goes to show that you got to show up. And as we saw right before that, they were the first team to beat the Braves in a series. So it's been a lot of back and forth, but to see that from Cal, of course, but to see the whole offensive, team get going, to see Julio really start to heat up. I mean, there's this weird, the one dynamic that I don't think we've really touched on. I know we've talked plenty about Cal and Julio, but one thing I don't think what we've touched on is this weird thing so far where Julio's defense has been kind of a mess, but he's hitting earlier than maybe he really has. Meanwhile, Cal's defense behind the plate has actually graded out as almost elite while he's been going through this struggle offensively. So kind of have this weird kind of lopsided nature of both of their profiles. I think, you obviously Seattle hopes that both of those guys can get going on both sides of the ball. Then they're really going to be in a good spot.
Yeah, the baseball gods actually demand a trade-off. It doesn't look obvious on Baseball Savant, but there's probably a category missing there when it's like, and what did you sacrifice for this? What did you give up? I wanted to get back to Cal very quickly before we move on to players who absolutely deserve the spotlight and aren't getting enough of it because we were so focused on this, understandably so. You mentioned it was more concerning to you that he was missing on stuff inside the zone rather than, chasing, which he did a fair amount last year. So with that in consideration, what should fans be watching closely, not just for the rest of this series against some horrible pitching, but against much better pitching from San Diego back here in Seattle when it comes to Cal?
Yeah, I mean, that'll be a much, I think, clearer test. I think the other thing, as we talked about plenty last season compared to, previous seasons, is what he's able to do from the right side. That's something that he really has done very little of this season. That's something too that this kind of strange right oblique injury that he never went on the IL for How is that impacting both sides of his swing? We'll see. But I mean, he's really hasn't done much of anything right-handed this season. And so it'll be interesting if he starts getting some of those at-bats in the coming weeks. How does that start to look? Because that was, of course, such a big part of him unlocking such a huge home run potential last season in a very real way. So I think that's the thing is just seeing him doing damage on pitches in his own. He's still going to strike out. But even if he does start walking more, I think that would still be a good sign. It still shows some good recognition. The timing can also impact that in terms of just making sure you're in a position to recognize pitches better. Whereas, I just think more recently he's really just been going up there swinging and honestly trying to swing his way out of it, which is a pretty common thing for a lot of hitters who are mired in those slumps. They don't want to just stand there and watch pitches. They're trying to find that one hit. He finally found it, so maybe he can now settle back into an approach that he's more used to.
Does Randy's offensive production the past week or so not make you forget, but make you a bit less critical of him defensively? Is this the Randy that we can accept or should accept?
Yeah, it kind of goes both ways because on one hand, it's like, well, he's clearly good enough to be DHing. Like, this is a good enough hitter to have in your DH spot every day. If you do start to think about other ways to kind of get, shuffle the lineup, if once, Donovan is now back and if Cole Emerson becomes a part, it's something you're going to have to consider. Yeah, I mean, his defense has never been awesome. He'll make a couple good plays here and there. But no, I mean, Randy's been a beast. He's been so consistent, and look, he's in a contract year, and that's a thing that can sometimes be a distraction and can sometimes be a motivating tool, which is whether or not Randy's in Seattle long term, the team and player can both benefit from that situation. That he probably knows that this is not a good free agent class. And if he can have another good season, he's been so reliable over the course of his career, always above average in terms of OPS plus and whatnot. But there have been still some ups and downs. But this version of him that's getting on base this much, and normally that OBP is inflated like crazy by the hit by pitches. But this year, he's just raking. I mean, the dude's hitting 300, which is something we really haven't seen from him at any point during his major league career. That was really something more he was doing in the minors. 387 BABIP. I mean, he's getting some fortunate luck there from the baseball gods in that regard. So that'll come down, but he's just been a force, and he seems like he's been on a mission. And I think the team has certainly benefited from that because he's a Scott Boras client, right? Like, there's no reason why he can't hit his way into a pretty serious contract this winter if he can stay healthy and put up some big numbers and maybe go. I mean, I guess the power hasn't really been there, at least the home runs, but he's come pretty close to 30-30 a few times. It wouldn't be shocking if he, even 20-30 again with his on base is a pretty good player.
Hey, I wanted to ask you about slow starts in general for teams. I understand that part of it is we don't know why sometimes it happens, but the Mariners kind of always do. We always point to Julio, but as a team, they've started slow before. And I always thought, well, it's kind of the reality of being in the payroll spot that they are. You don't have a team full of all-stars, full of MVPs. And while you are rarely, I know last year they did, but you are rarely playing deep into the offseason, so you get a little extra time, you just have more question marks, right? So, yeah, if the Dodgers start out looking hot or the Yankees start out looking hot, well, I would hope so. However, then you have the Rays at 28-13. The Guardians, 23-21, leading the AL Central. So how do I make sense of another slow start for Seattle?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that, they're not alone in this bucket, even of the teams that are in their payroll category, I would say. But I think this year in particular, it's hard. And maybe because I spend so much time looking at the whole league, the Mariners' slow start just doesn't seem that bad. Because, relative to expectations, you can say it's been disappointing, but because they're not they didn't go on some epic losing streak the way that the Red Sox have, the way that the Phillies have, the way that the Mets have, the way that, some of these other teams that have really, the Tigers had like a brutal stretch in there. Their longest losing streak is 5 games, and that was back in like the first couple weeks of the season. So they've certainly had some ugly series along the way. This past weekend is a good example of that, but they've never really fallen into a part where it was like everyone this season, and this is true throughout the whole season, but certainly early on, the teams that are struggling kind of take turns getting the spotlight on them. And the Mariners, it's just never quite got to that point. Now, for you guys, where the job is to talk about them every day, I understand that it feels like, oh my God, this team is supposed to be one of the best teams in baseball. Why are they still under 500? And that's totally legitimate. But for me, with the perspective I have of some of the other teams and what they've been going through, and also just like what they have to look forward to, right? I mean, I think the thing about Seattle is, while maybe they're not as far ahead, or obviously they're not even in first place, that's disappointing. They're still, you could also say, well, oh my God, they're right there. And Cal Raleigh has been awful, like in some respects, if you said that Cal Raleigh was going to be this bad, you might be thankful that they're where they're at. And so, if you frame it that way, I think that's another way to kind of look at the perspective.
So let's say the Mariners do sweep this series, right? Let's start one game at a time. All right, let's get 3 tonight, and then we'll see what happens tomorrow. If they are to sweep this series, does that change their profile at all to you, or do you feel like they have just done what they're supposed to do?
I don't know if you're ever supposed to, sweep a 4-game series, and that would be a mop, not just a mop, the second mop of the Astros this season.
That's a double mop.
Which the double mop within the first 2 months is, that is making a statement. And certainly be the first team to accomplish that against the same opponent. So is that the expectation? I mean, so far it sure looks like that. Yeah, this team, the Mariners, are better than the Astros. Okay, it seems like that's what we've learned, if anything, from this season. But doing it in Houston is a big deal. But going home and continuing to show it against a Padres team that has a good record, but is maybe not as good as their record is, but it certainly has some parts that you don't want to deal with, whether it's, Mason Miller at the back end, or maybe Tatis Jr. finally wakes up and starts going crazy. And then you got the White Sox coming to town, which, as we just learned, you can't really overlook them. So I don't know. I think that right now they're just focused on getting back to 500, getting back over 500. The A's have been playing pretty well, but it's not like they're running away with things. So it wouldn't surprise me that even if the Mariners don't, rattle off a 15-game winning streak, if they find themselves in first place here at some point, and then they have they're playing the A's in a few weeks here, so in Sacramento. So that could end up being a pretty big series.
I wanted to ask you about kind of big picture defense and when that could cost a team, or whether it matters as much. Jordan, if you were to ask me, okay, you can pick one thing to just have like absolutely an elite level of it on your team to get to and win a World Series, I'd probably go pitching. It would be tempting to go offense. It truly would. And you can make a case either way. I wanted to know, I guess a way to ask, I don't want to ask you to like, hey, of all the World Series teams you've seen, but like, is defense truly a big liability with true contenders that really make it? Or is it just one of those things where it's like, you can make up for it? Like, you can't make up for having horrible pitching.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
That if your pitching is bad, and I mean, let's be honest, like at least this season, we're watching it. The Mariners pitching is great. Their defense is not.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still fine. They are not in the situation that Houston is in, which is untenable. Mm-hmm. I mean, they cannot keep up. And of course, injuries have played a role in that too. But I mean, look at the Washington Nationals. I mean, they have the second most runs per game, and they're still pretty bad because their pitching is pretty bad. So defense, it's tough. And we've had some conversations about this every year in the postseason with the teams who are at the end. The Dodgers defense has never really been a main factor, although you can think of some specific moments throughout their runs where it's like, okay, well, clearly they were ready to make that play. The Yankees, certainly a team, their defense has been criticized a lot, but they've also, even when they went to the World Series in 24, they overcame that, but then also got exposed in the most embarrassing fashion, and famously in Game 5 in 2024. So usually it's more about over the course of the regular season, what advantage is that giving you? And once you get to the postseason, every game is kind of its own thing, and the pitching and having those big bats and the guys that can hit the ball over the fence matters more than these individual defense. I think that's where you see it with the teams that are elite at it, and teams like the Cubs. I mean, usually they built their whole team around it. That is not a pitching staff that necessarily scares you, and certainly in its current state. But because they have an elite defense, it's a lot easier for them to have a bunch of Colin Rays and guys that'll put the ball in play, because it's like, we got the best defense in the league, so we're going to still create a bunch of outs, and they certainly have the offense to kind of play that game. So it kind of depends on roster construction. I think once you get to the postseason, it's kind of a little bit of a different game. It's hard for me to say that it is the most important thing.
He is Yahoo Sports' Jordan Shusterman. Make sure you are listening to Baseball BarbieCast, checking out his work at yahoosports.com. Thanks, Jordan.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thanks, guys.
Let's get to 4 Down territory.
This is 4 Down territory, going inside the game. What former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
I'd say that.
First down. Why are players pushing for more grass fields?
All right, as a player who's played on turf and grass just feels better. It's softer. You feel like your cleats respond better in it. But then you look at the data, 28% higher risk of injury on non-contact type of injuries, right? Just running a route, put your foot in the ground, bam, something happens. It just responds differently. Yes, turf, you can maintain it. It's easier on the maintenance group. But when it comes to the actual football play, it's all about the grass, and it's shocks absorbent when we're talking about grass. You fall on grass, it's still going to hurt. Ground wins every time, but you fall on turf, when it's frozen, it's tough. So I read an article about players pushing for more grass. I don't think the owners are going to go for it because it saves them some money, but a couple reasons why.
It's just crazy to want to save money on the thing that, like, well, this is imperative to what you do. This is the product, right? Second down. What year 2 quarterback will make the biggest jump?
I'm going to New York. I think Jackson Dart is going to have the biggest jump out of year 2 quarterbacks. All right. You got some more weapons over there. You drafted a receiver in Malachi Fields. You have a new head coach in John Harbaugh, even though, is it John? Or is it
John?
Yeah, okay.
New York,
right.
yeah.
I don't know why I still can't get those two right.
To be fair, they look very similar, and there's like one letter off.
Yeah. So, but I think with the structure that's over there, with the players that are coming back, you should have a run game with Scatterboo, with Tracy. I think he'll be under center more. You still got Malik Neighbors over there on the outside. You bring over Mooney and Darius Slayton, a guy who tore us up last year or the year before. Yeah, I think, and then you drafted that offensive lineman, your right guard out of Miami. I just feel like with his skill set, if he can just learn to get down, slide, and not take the big hit, he could be a good quarterback in this league, man. He is a Jalen Hurts type of comp with a better arm, I feel like. So Jackson Dart, I feel like, will have the biggest jump in year 2.
Third down. If Aaron Rodgers does not sign with the Steelers, what should he do?
What 2 states do elderly people go to retire?
Florida
and
Arizona.
Go to Arizona, try out for the Cardinals, and then retire there if it don't work out. That's what Aaron Rodgers should do. All right, Florida, they got their teams locked up, their quarterbacks locked up. So we're looking at Arizona, where Stacy's parents go during the winter time to hang out or whatnot. That's what it is, man. True retirement. Go try it out with the Cardinals. If it don't work out, you can retire there. Golf courses everywhere.
Everything's air conditioned. Yep. I love the drugstores, the CVS and the Walgreens. They're massive. They're air conditioned. You can spend all day in there.
Every other corner.
Fourth down. What do you think Sam may have more liberty to do this year?
I think he'll have more control of the offense at the line of scrimmage. I don't know how much control he had last year. I was looking for numbers to justify. I don't know. I just don't know. But I feel like once you win a Super Bowl, that leash loosens up a bit. He's playing with an offensive coordinator he's already familiar with. I think this is the next step for Sam. I said, all right, there's still a couple things he can do. Obviously, not turn over the football as much, have a few bigger games. But this is something that quarterbacks want, for the most part, once they've reached a certain height. That was a problem with Russell Wilson. He wanted control of that offense, and they weren't really willing to give it to him. I think Sam is in a different category. If he wants it, he might not even want it. Sam might be the type of guy to be like, you know what, and we'll call the play, give me 2 plays, and I'll audible out of that one. But there are some guys who walk into the line of scrimmage, can the play. This is what we're going to do. I think that Sam should have the option at this point of his career because of what he's done as of late.
You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Coming up at noon, we are ranking the NFC West teams in a couple different categories, including quarterback, head coach, offense. But coming up next, one prominent reporter is dragging the media for their coverage of Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcast.
Holy smokes, what a play!
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Do you have a car, truck, or SUV you're willing to sell? How about an RV or commercial vehicle? Wayscar Ford in Auburn will buy it from you. And when they resell your old vehicle, they'll split the profit with you 50-50. That's right. You'll get paid twice. Mark Clymer, Wayscar Ford's GM, isn't surprised their vehicle profit-sharing program is doing so well. I mean, let's be honest, it's a fantastic offer. And Mark said they've been buying a lot of cars from our listeners, which is very cool, and they're loving it. Here's why. Customers sell their car for top dollar up front. They get paid before they leave the dealership. And then when Wayscar Ford resells that vehicle, that same customer is getting 50% of the profit. There's not some secret catch here. A lot of people have cars right now sitting around, and they're worth a lot of money. So if you want to sell it and you don't want to do it yourself, this is a perfect opportunity to get the most money you can without going through all that hassle. It's exclusively at Wayscar Ford, celebrating 104 years in Auburn. WayscarFord.com.
Have a troublesome tree in need of removal? P&D Tree Service is up to the task. Local experts in tree removal for residential and commercial. If it's 1 tree or 15 trees, close quarters or land clearing, call P&D Tree. They'll get the job done safely and quickly, turning multi-day jobs into a few hours, saving you time and money. They'll clear trees away from homes to help you save on home insurance. They specialize in large tree removal. Ever see a tree removed by crane? PNDTreeservice.com.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and if you're somebody with joint pain, this will be of interest to you. Tonight at 6 p.m., Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk about stem cell therapy.
Hi, it's Dave Wyman, and this live webinar is a great education on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
Whether it's a hip like I had, a shoulder, elbow, knee, or even wrists and ankles, this live webinar will explain the procedure and how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells.
Learn about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, one of the most experienced in the country with over 20,000 stem cell procedures.
Go pain-free in 2026. Join his free live stem cell webinar tonight at 6 p.m.
Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Mariners and Astros today in Houston. 5:10 first pitch, 4 o'clock pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. For the Puget Sound, that means local service including burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and custom security designed to work with business operations. Bay Alarm has real people rooted in your community looking out for your business. After 8 decades and 3 generations of family ownership, our promise is still the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
Still planning your summer vacation? Tired of airports and long drives? Anacortes Yacht Charters has a better option. Cruise the San Juan Islands aboard a fully equipped yacht. Take the helm of a bareboat charter or hire a skipper to explore on your terms. Quiet coves, lively harbors, no schedules. Just a tide guide and a sense of adventure. With a fleet of 50 powerboats and sailboats, AYC has options for groups large and small, from beginner to old salt. Start your San Juan adventure at ayc.com/KIRO.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations, including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. No application fee if you apply by June 1st. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by SHAP.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
It is The Timeline. Looking at the top stories you're going to see trending on your own timelines. And we're going to start with Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel, but for a different reason. There isn't some new chapter to this story, no new photos or video released or anything like that. Instead, there's a take from The Ringer's Max Kellerman. He says he's disgusted, not with them, but with the media's coverage of what's happening.
It's so disgusting to me because, especially the latest, it comes across my reels, and I've worked with Diana Rossini, right? And she's, I haven't worked with Mike Vrabel, but it's on my reels, so I can't avoid it. And it's like, oh, there are pictures, and the press is trying to create a timeline where when might they have been cheating? So, without regard to how this affects their spouses, their children, they're like putting these families through hell under the guise of journalistic integrity and ethics, where in fact that is just an excuse to put out salacious stuff.
Your thoughts, Bump?
It's disgusting to him because he's connected somehow, some way, right? He's in the sports world, and he probably has a relationship with Vrabel to some extent, and with Rossini to some extent. But here's the thing, though. If it were just two actors or two athletes, I don't think he'd be disgusted. I think it's disgusting to him because it hits home, because that's his area. Rossini's part of his circle. Vrabel's part of his circle. And they're so used to criticizing the players on the field and on and off the field that it puts them in an uncomfortable position. All right, so now you feel like the athlete. Now you feel like the person who was followed everywhere, whose baby mama hops on IG and puts something out there, and you start talking about it. Because now that it's knocking at your front door, now you're disgusted. When I guarantee you, if you go back in Max Kellerman's history of doing what he does, he has talked about players on the field and off the field and what they do and all that drama that goes with it. Just quiet down. Sit this one out, Max. You can be disgusted. You feel the way that you want to feel. But if roles were reversed, you do it all the time. You are so critical about athletes. Take this one on the chin, and they ain't even talking about you. Now you look guilty. What you do, Max? Like, why you so disgusted? No one's talking about you. So just chill, dog.
No, absolutely agree. Again, people do it all the time under the guise of, is this a distraction for this athlete? When really you're just kind of fascinated by, like, and what fight did he get in with Cardi B? What's happening here? And I totally get it, because I am unapologetic in my following of and love of celebrity gossip. I love reality TV. And I think what I disagree with Max Kellerman on with this, I don't know how many people are hiding behind the guise of it being about journalistic integrity. I think most people are very open about the fact.
Right.
You know, they might say, like, what kind of conflict of interest is here? But most people are very open about the fact that this is a public scandal, and as humans, go back as far as you want. Like, society has always been fascinated by public scandal. These are two front-facing, forward-facing people. These are two celebrities in the sports world, an NFL head coach and one of the most prominent NFL reporters out there. I'm sorry, this isn't unique to Diana and Vrabel. This isn't unique to sports. This isn't unique to anything, and it doesn't even make someone a bad person. It's just human. I think people are just intrigued by this stuff. Sometimes it's not fair. Sometimes there's a double standard in how men and women are talked about, certainly, especially when it's connected to an affair, because it's connected to sex in that case, and people talk about men and women differently there. But, like, I'm with you. It is what it is, and athletes are criticized in the same way. If you're famous and your mess in your laundry is brought out into the public, people are going to talk about it.
Someone mentioned their wife and kids. They decided to do this. Like, there's a certain lane you must walk in if you are a celebrity and you're in the spotlight. If a person who's not a celebrity, not in the spotlight, did something, within their circle, it's still going to be an issue. People are still going to talk about what's going on between Stephanie and George. Even though they're not celebrities, their bubble's a bit smaller. So the more celebrity you have, the bigger you are, the bigger that bubble is, and people are going to talk about it. They're not excluded from it just because they are famous.
Mike did it to his family.
Yeah.
Mike Vrabel did that to his family. Diana did that. And also, like, I would just ask Max Kellerman, like, what do you expect to happen? That people talk about it and go, oh, well, you know what? Never mind. It sounds like there's no conflict of interest. We won't keep talking about it.
It's disgusting.
It's a massive story, man. It's just what happens.
It is what it
how
is,
this
bro.
works. Next up, let's get back to your story about grass surfaces. You talked about it a bit in 4 Down Territory. I have some updates and some sound here from NFL PA Executive Director J.C. Tretter. He was a guest on Cam Hayward's podcast and said that the Players Association really wants grass fields over turf.
And what we want is good grass fields. We want good, solid fields. You don't just want, like, pull out the Muni golf course grass out on every field. You want high quality surfaces. I think one thing is understanding what our players care about, and there is something there that the data hasn't been able to spit back out at us, which if you ask every player, we polled 1,700 players, 92% say they want grass over turf. There is something about the feeling of being on grass that your body feels different. I think if you ask the coaches, just standing on grass for standing on turf for 3 hours feels different.
Now, is the NFLPA biting off more than they can chew here? Because J.C. Tretter also spitballed another way players want to be compensated if their team doesn't move to a grass surface.
So I think it's important for us to have metrics to enforce them, making sure the stadiums are being used predominantly for football games, right? Especially when, having concerts and monster truck rallies. Those are all things that the owners make money off. The players don't make money off it. So the idea of, hey, we're going to host these events, that means we have to put a worse surface on there for you, and you don't actually get any of that money for those events we're hosting, isn't a great thing for players either. And that's what we got to evaluate in the next deal.
That idea?
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
They're definitely not going to buy that, but what do you think of it?
Nah, I think they're asking for a bit too much. They don't own the stadium. They don't own the surface, but you do put your product out there, so it'd be the best interest in the owners to make sure that the surface is up to par. And I'm with that as far as not putting just some random grass out there. Like if you look at English Premier League and all those soccer leagues in Europe, I mean, that grass is beautiful. It's pristine, it's on point, and they're running around on it too. Not as violent as football, obviously, but there's some ways. Now just asking to be cut in with the revenue that's being made from those events there, no, that belongs to the owner of the stadium. He decides or she decides who to rent that out, what to pay or what to charge, and they profit from that.
I have a real and dumb question. Do they not host events at stadiums that have real grass? Because think of all the soccer venues that host, like internationally, that host.
They host events at T-Mobile Park in season.
So
yeah,
I don't know how that can continue to be a fallback for owners with like, oh no, we have a Beyonce concert here, so we simply can't have not turf. Well, if other venues also have massive concerts and shows and events and conferences and whatever else is happening there.
Is it easier?
I'm confused.
Is it easier to maintain a turf field and have all that activity on it? Yes, it is. It is easier. Can it not be done because there's grass? No, it's done all the time. It's now to get the grass back up to par after it's been matted down with this other surface. Yeah, it's tough. But what brings you the most money every year? I would assume that football's a big chunk of it. I think if Taylor Swift goes to your stadium, she's going to bring you a whole bunch of money. Like, this is just what it is. Pop stars bring a lot. But consistently, right, what's paying your bills consistently has to be football.
Next up, former Dolphins receiver Leonte Carroo played under Ben Johnson from 2016 to 18 in Miami and shared a story of Johnson's well-known brashness.
My greatest Ben Johnson story is, first of all, he absolutely loved me. Even when I was messing up, he loved me. He used to always say to me, like, you love football. I know you love football. You just got to get straight. Like, but you're one of those guys. And I remember he came in the receiver room one day, and Jarvis Landry arguably was probably top 5 receiver in the NFL at this time. I mean, him, Odell, all these guys were top notch. And he ripped Jarvis in front of the whole wide receiver core. And he's like, I want to be at your Hall of Fame speech one day, because that's my message for you. That's where I want to see you in a gold jacket, because I know where I'm going. And he literally points at himself and he goes, I know I'm going to be in a gold jacket one day as a coach. I know that about me. And this was like before he was even like calling plays. And yo, when I tell you the guy loves football, he used to leave the facility at like 1 a.m. and be there at 5. Like, he's on a football adrenaline rush. He loves football.
To his point, he had not yet been a head coach. Dang. He had just been promoted from assistant wide receivers coach in 2018.
That's the way you have to think. That's the way you have to attack whatever you love, whatever you do. You work so hard that you convince yourself that you are going to be one of the best. I rock with Ben.
I do too. There's this weird kind of like outsider feeling that the Shanahan-McVay crew has where they don't seem to get along with him too well, and it makes me like him more.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm so sorry.
He doesn't like LaFleur either, right?
Yeah, I think that's what kick-started it, because they're all in the same circle from the same tree. So I think it was, we don't mess with you now. And like, I'm kind of on Ben's side here.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Let's go around the diamond. The Mariners look to keep it going tonight against the Astros for Game 3 of a 4-game series. Pre-game starts at 4 p.m. First pitch at 5:10 p.m. Bryce Miller making his season debut. That's going to be on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. And that's Around the Diamond, brought to you by Klein Jewelers Edmonds. All right, coming up, some NFC West rankings at noon. And coming up next, why Jeff Passan hasn't wavered on picking the Mariners to win the West.
Brock and Salk.
This team is not built for Cal Raleigh to go over 32.
Morning 6 to 10.
Like, the biggest reason the Mariners did what they did last year, by far, was that Cal Raleigh went from being a good player to a superstar player. And right now is mired in an 0 for 32 slump that bookends around a stint of near IL.
And I think injury is a big culprit in this.
Well, how could it not be? I mean,
he struggled beforehand,
but not
some
like
would
this.
say.
Brock and Salk, only on Seattle Sports.
Dave Wyman here, and you've heard me talk about a local company for over a year now I really love working with. Harley Exteriors. You can expect a no-pressure consultation. They're great people to work with, and their windows are beautiful. I recently met with them, and I was excited to hear about the many Seattle sports listeners they've worked with. And now, Harley Exteriors has stepped up with a can't-miss offer. Right now, get $450 off each new window, $1,000 off each patio or entry door, 12-month or 18-month, no interest, no payment options, plus $200 off your final project total. If that isn't enough to get you started on a new project, I don't know what is. Schedule a consultation just like I did. Give them a call at 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Minimum purchase of 4 windows required for window discount. Qualifying windows must be 36 by 36 or larger. No size minimum on patio or entry doors. Financing subject to credit approval. Cannot be combined with other offers outside this promotion. Offer valid through May 31st.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
The Johnsons always talk about an orientation meeting. Their dad and grandpa, they always maintain that it's a people business.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Does your yard need shade, privacy, or a little brightening up? Look no further than Big Trees. I'm Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. At our 30-acre location, there are thousands of trees to choose from and knowledgeable staff, including a board-certified master arborist, to help you find exactly what you're looking for. Visit the nursery and learn more about Big Trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Hey, it's Shannon O'Kelly from IRG, and tonight at 6, we're hosting a free live webinar to talk all about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
Which joints have you seen good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Dr. Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Are you in pain? Join us tonight at 6 and learn all about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. Register for our free live webinar at irgpt.com/events. irgpt.com/events.
If you're building decks in Washington this season, you need materials you can trust and a supplier who delivers. Par Lumber carries premium TimberTech and Trex composite and PVC decking, railing, and lighting, as well as pavers and fencing materials contractors depend on. With reliable job site delivery, we keep your projects moving so you can keep building. All the best outdoor living products are at Par. Visit par.com to learn more. Par, where the builders go.
Mariners and Astros today in Houston. 5:10 first pitch, 4 o'clock pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Get $1,000 in free survival gear for a limited time. You heard that right. Right now, when you order the powerful Grid Doctor 3300 solar generator from MyPatriotSupply.com, we'll send you over $1,000 in life-saving preparedness supplies, including a 4-week survival food kit, water filtration system, an off-grid cook stove, and much more, absolutely free. This offer won't last long, so get your generator and free survival gear now at MyPatriotSupply.com. That's MyPatriotSupply.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. The Camping World Ultimate RV Show is coming to Angel of the Winds RV Resort in Seattle. Parking and admission are free. Join us May 14th to the 17th to shop special show pricing on over 200 fully staged new and used RVs. Get an exclusive first look at new models. Check out the latest gear and accessories. Bring the family to enjoy our kids zone and enter to win a new RV. Don't miss the Ultimate RV Show in Seattle, May 14th to the 17th. We'll see you there.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Around the Diamond is sponsored by Klein Jewelers.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
While the Mariners are looking hot right now in Houston, they have been off to a shaky start this season. But Jeff Passan is not worried about their standings in the AL West, which, by the way, are in second place. Not that it matters right now. They did make up ground against the A's, though. He was on Brock and Salk this morning and first talked about why he's still very much picking the Mariners to win the division.
Well, the American League West and the American League Central are in a battle of suctitude. And right now, I would suggest that the American League West is winning or losing, if you will, just because the Astros stink, the Angels stink. They're 2 of the 5 worst, maybe 2 of the 3 worst teams in baseball right now. Like, they are not good. So it's a 3-team race, and those 3 teams right now are separated by a game and a half. I have not wavered on my pick for the Mariners to win that division.
There is one team in the AL West with a positive run differential. It's the Seattle Mariners. And he's right. The Angels and Astros are tied for the worst record in baseball.
Yeah, that's bad. He said the Central and the West, right?
Mm-hmm.
Central has one team with positives when it comes to differentials. The Guardians +2, and the Mariners +12. If you're going to be 21 and 22, if you are going to have your power hitters struggle, if you are going to be waiting on arms to get healthy and have to fight through all this stuff, these are the 2 divisions you want to be in while going through it. So your expectations are a product of your environment, and your environment is telling you that you are still in this race, even if you haven't played your best ball against better teams. Mm-hmm. If you take care of the Astros, then you're probably going to be in first place, depending on who the A's are playing. They got the St. Louis Cardinals, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But no, you just hang around, man. You hang around. It's the boat race over there at the at T-Mobile when they had little boat races, green, yellow, blue, and red.
Little hydroplane.
Yeah, just hang around. And at the very end, it's always that bow in the bag that hits the jump and passes you last second.
Green got it.
Be that. Be that, Mariners.
Let's branch out and look at the Rays, Yankees, Mariners here for this next one. The problem is that the expectation isn't that you win the division. No. The expectation is that you get to your first World Series. They entered the season as a second favorite, sometimes a third favorite behind the Dodgers to get to a World Series. So I agree with Jeff Passan. I'm not changing an opinion on whether or not the Mariners can win a very bad AL West, but I am suddenly getting a little nervous about a Tampa Bay Rays team that is leading the AL East at 28-13, a Yankees team that's been pretty steady Eddie all year long. They're at 27-16. So I'm looking around the rest of the American League going, well, are the Mariners going to enter as a wild card? They would right now if the season ended. So I'm going to combine these two back to back. Passan saying he would still say the Mariners are the second best team, even with the Rays leading the East.
I believe in them still. And I look at the Yankees as being the best team in the American League right now. But if you ask me who's number two, even though their record is under 500, I would say it's still the Mariners. And that's as much to do with the American League as a whole as it is with the Mariners. But I'm waiting for them to get over 500 and go on one of those runs. They just need to be consistent. And these winning streaks they can stretch it to 3 games tonight. They need to stack 2 and 3 and 4 winning streaks and, not contrast those with 2 and 3 and 4 game losing streaks like they've been doing.
When it comes to predictions in May, it's not about who might be playing better ball right now. It's about who's the better team.
They are playing better baseball than the Seattle Mariners right now, but that does not necessarily make them a better team. We are at the quarter pole of the season right now, Brock. I would suggest by the time we are at the 3/4 pole, the Mariners will have a better record than the Rays.
What do you think about that? That's still quite a bit of confidence from Jeff Passan and the Mariners.
And it's personnel based, right? It's potential based. It's what these guys typically do when they're playing some good ball. And I think he pointed out something worth talking about is that they haven't had their run yet. I said to start the season they'll go on a 7-8 game run, and that's where you kind of make up your ground when it comes to guys in front of you. We've seen them go on crazy runs. 14 games I think was the longest since I've been doing this show with you. And you're still waiting on it. They got on 4-game runs playing okay baseball against okay teams. So as you see Julio start to heat up, even though he went 0 for 5 the other day, as you see Arozarena do his thing, Dom showing the power that we know and love, Cole Young has been consistent, even though he went 0 for last night. It's that. It's knowing that if everything is aligned and they put the pieces together, and at some point in 162, you have to imagine there's going to be a time where everything is clicking for a run. That's where you make up ground. So you make up that ground, you get a few games ahead of a sorry division, and now you just keep your pace, win 2, lose 1, win 3, lose 1, and I think they're capable of doing that.
Let's talk about Cal for the last 2 minutes here. I think one of the questions, Bump, that certainly we talked about in the open, but that even we've talked about privately is I can't tell how hurt Cal is. Is this mental, or is that oblique injury worse than we think? And the Mariners and Cal are just trying to do everything they can to keep him off the IL. Here's Jeff.
I don't know if Cal Raleigh's hurt, but he's playing like someone who is. And you guys know him at this point. He's not going to complain about anything. He understands how important he is to this team. But at the same time, when you're playing and you're not at 100%, and the swing doesn't feel good, there comes that point where maybe you're doing more harm than good. Now, if last night was a suggestion that, something's changing and success is around the corner, then there's really something to be said for grinding through an injury and getting out of it on the good side. But there need to be multiple multi-hit nights.
I almost feel better if it's not an injury, because I don't see how a catcher playing every day heals from they've never outright said an oblique, but let's say like a grade 1 oblique issue. Like, I don't see how that heals it. I would almost feel better if it was mental and you can kind of snap out of it.
Yeah, I mean, because physical, there's only so much you can do. You progress as your body gets better. With mental, you could have little successes that can flip that fairly quickly in a game or two. So I'm with you there.
Yeah, I don't know. I obviously, again, both you and I were saying this. We didn't think that if he had a serious, like, they might leave him at DH and just try to fix him if it was pretty serious, but it feels hard to believe they'd let him catch if it was pretty serious. But Passan's right. He's very much looked like someone who's dealing with something. Though you mentioned yesterday that you were encouraged to see, like, he's not grimacing, like you were kind of watching for little signs.
Yeah, I mean, from my expert analysis on just athletes and their health, it doesn't seem like he's grimacing at all. Doesn't mean he's not feeling something, though.
Yeah, okay, I'll take that. I feel a little bit better about that. Coming up next, taking a look at some NFC West rankings. We're going 1 through 4 on offense, defense, quarterback, coach, wide receiver, and special teams. That's next.
Think you know the Mariners? Not if you aren't subscribed to the Daily Mariners newsletter from Seattle Sports.
That's what they've been waiting for.
The latest Mariners news and injury updates, exclusives from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
You look at the pieces and how it works.
Plus the best takes and breakdowns from your favorite Seattle sports hosts and contributors.
The Mariners seem to be trying to build something that I think is a little bit more sustainable.
The Daily Mariners newsletter.
Monster solo home run.
Subscribe at seattlesports.com/newsletter.
What does baseball and Klein Jewelers have in common? Diamonds, of course. Hi, Andy Klein here. Sure, we love baseball, but we love diamonds even more. Why? Because our diamonds sparkle and last longer than 9 innings. Every diamond is hand-selected for maximum brilliance, quality, and value. Klein Jewelers by the Fountain in downtown Edmonds also has a big selection of engagement rings, wedding bands, diamond and gemstone fashion jewelry, and one-of-a-kind custom designs. Swing for the fences and shine with Klein.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank. NA member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Hey, it's G. Scott. Let's talk real for a sec. Summer is supposed to be about sunshine and kids having fun. But when the kids are home all day, that grocery bill, yeah, it grow fast. That's why I want you to know about Sunbucks and why our friends at Safeway are helping get the word out. If your family qualifies, you can receive $120 per child to spend on groceries this summer. Food in your cart and a little less pressure on that budget. And let me be clear about this. There's no catch, no judgment. This program is simply about making sure kids have enough to eat when school is out. Here's the important part. Many families are enrolled automatically, and a card may already be headed to your mailbox. But some families do need to apply depending on income and where you live. So take a couple minutes and check. Visit freesummermeals.org. That's freesummermeals.org. Safeway, looking out for your family this summer. Once again, that's freesummermeals.org.
70 and sunny this week, so get out on the water with ARC, the 100% electric boat. They're doing demos on Lake Union, Lake Washington, and Lake Sammamish. Book one and see what they're all about. I got to ride in the brand new ARC Sport, and it was unlike anything I've experienced. Think of a luxury EV on water, quiet, powerful, easy to operate, heated seats and seatbacks, a large touchscreen display. Schedule your demo at arcboats.com/demo. If you can't make it to Kirkland, they'll pick you up. arcboats.com/demo.
Windows are a home's top target for break-ins. At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer added security with our exclusive 3-layer security glass protection. Combined with our lifetime warranty, you'll have lifetime peace of mind. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of a car rolling into Valvoline Instant Oil Change. The sound of another savvy driver getting an oil change from trained pros. The sound of not having to leave your car while we quickly change your oil. At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, there's no hassle with appointments or dealer wait times. That's one smart bell.
Are you looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, ranging from the low 500s to the high 1 millions. D.R. Horton has the right home at the best value for you. Your new home is within reach, so what are you waiting for? Learn more about the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. Visit drhorton.com and schedule a tour today. D.R. Horton, America's builder. An equal housing opportunity builder.
How was your break?
It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So, even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code THRIVE25 for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code THRIVE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's THRIVE25.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Cal Raleigh broke out of his slump, and Randy Rosarena stayed hot as the Mariners beat the Astros last night 10-2. Cal was 0 for 38, as you guys know, before that seventh-inning single for which the Mariners dugout erupted in applause. Rosarena drove him in with a double to make it 8-2. It was part of a 4-hit night for Randy. He was hitting .333 over his last 15. Game 3's today at 5:10 p.m., 4 p.m. pregame show. It's the debut of Bryce Miller.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. This is going to be tougher than I thought. We're taking a look at the NFC West. The only easy answer is that the Cardinals are typically in fourth place, but we are going 1 through 4 on a couple different categories. At one point, I had like 9 here, and I've narrowed it down. I went special.
9.
Well, not 9, but I kept adding because listeners, when I said, what do you guys want to add here? We're ranking the NFC West 1 through 4 on different categories: offense, defense, quarterback, coach, wide receiver. We had GM, and then people were like, well, let's put special teams in there. So I put special teams instead. But that's what we're staying with right now. If we have time at the end, we'll do some extras, tight end, GM. But I thought that there would be intriguing conversations around these choices in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's start with, do you want to do quarterback first?
Sure.
Okay, let's start with quarterback. 1 through 4 NFC West starting quarterbacks you have.
At the number 1 spot, actually, I'll go from the bottom. Make it more interesting.
Ooh, yeah.
All right. Number 4 spot, we got Arizona. You got Jacoby Brissett over there. You got Carson Beck. I'm telling you, potentially Aaron Rodgers. If it don't work out with the Steelers, go over there and check that out over there. I think you should
listen to your retirement plan.
Yeah. And then after that, I'm going with the 49ers. I know, Brock Purdy. He's been in
I wrote Brock Heward, sorry.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm not even looking at the show sheet. It's all off the dome. I didn't want to look at the show sheet because I don't want
my
your
answer
list to
is
influence
messing you
me.
up. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So Brock Purdy 3.
I got Brock Purdy 3, and then I got Sam Darnold at 2. And yes, I know he just won a Super Bowl, but Matthew Stafford, come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
This dude got over a decade of just balling. Imagine if he were on a different team sooner. He'd probably have 2 Super Bowl rings, at least at this point. And then at the 1 spot, I got the 37-year-old Matthew Stafford. He tossed 40-something touchdowns last year.
I know. I have the exact same ranking, so we're good here. I know that there are people who are like, Sam Darnold should have changed a lot of people's minds. I think that the Seahawks could go to and win another Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a knock on Sam. I also just think Matthew Stafford is exceptional. Now, he'll be battling Father Time this year. He turned 38 at the very end of the season. Will he be an MVP again? I don't know. But I just think he's shown more and has more of like just a not only a resume, but like a proven baseline skill set.
You know what's crazy to me? The argument with Matthew Stafford that I see. Do you think the fall off is going to be that bad from last year? He's 38 years old now. If he is just
barring injury,
healthy, the fall off cannot be that bad. If he, in 2024, he threw 20 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, and then comes back a year older and throws 46 and 8, complete 65% for 4,700 yards, about 1,000 more than he did last year. There can be a fall off, but he's not going to be bottom of the barrel.
I think I more look at like a touchdown interception ratio. There are a few quarterbacks that have been able to like really sustain that over a long period of time, like Aaron Rodgers did for a while. But usually when someone has like those, that's where I expect regression to like a league average of you're just not going to get away with throwing that many touchdowns, that many yards without making mistakes. Okay. Let's do wide receiver.
Wide out. So at the bottom, I got AZ. Number 3, I got the Niners. Number 2, I got Seattle. Number 1, I got the Rams.
Okay, I did the same thing, but let's talk about
the
this.
reason why. I know people are like, what are you talking about?
Oh, wait.
JSN.
Hear him out.
Cooper Kupp, Rashid Shaheed. All right, I feel you. I understand. The potential is great. Torrey Horton. I get you. But the Rams 1-2 is better than the Seahawks 1-2 at this point. Could Shaheed, with a full year in this offense, take off, put up 800-900 yards? Probably, possibly. I could see that. Could Torrey Horton come in and be a true number 3 and put up 500-600? Could Cooper Kupp hit the fountain of youth and all of a sudden put up 600 or 700? All that is possible. I'm just going off of last year. And if we're going off of last year, the 1-2 combo of Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, who scored the most receiving touchdowns in the league last year, is better than the JSN and whoever, insert whoever, Cooper Kupp, Rashid Shaheed, Torrey Horton. I think there's more depth, but the top 2 is so heavy with the Rams as of last year, because that's all we have to go off of. I'm not projecting, right? This isn't a power rankings, preseason power rankings. This is what do I know about this team from last year. I got to go with the Rams. Man.
Yeah.
Even though Jason had the best season, Puka was right there with him.
Well, and it's not about top line receiver, like which single NFC West receiver would you want? It's at wide receiver, which team is sitting at the top. I also have the Rams. And I read this really interesting. So there's this feature, Brian Nemhauser had it, and ironically, a lot of people were talking about wide receiver depth to start the season, and then it didn't end up mattering because what JSN did, run game takes off in the final third of the season and carries you through to the Super Bowl. Great. Doesn't end up being a problem at all. But I do find it not concerning. They won a Super Bowl doing this, but kind of like what happens now? That JSN has 1793 and the next closest wide receiver, Cooper Kupp, has 593. Yeah. And you can see a pretty massive difference in yardage between Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. Not quite as pronounced, but nowhere near 1,000. Devontae Adams was 789 compared to 1715 for Puka Nacua. But as you noted, the touchdowns are where they separate. 24 touchdowns with those two combined, with Devontae leading the team with 14. Meanwhile, it's JSN with 10. Again, 1,793 yards, and then 2 for Cooper Kupp at 593. The next closest is your tight end, A.J. Barner. So, they weren't, and Torrey Horton with 5, yeah, but he was hurt. They weren't really finding a lot of options in the red zone. It was just JSN, maybe a tight end or bust, right? Or Zach Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet, exactly. Yeah. Whereas the Rams had 2 pretty lethal options at wide receiver in the red zone. So that's why I gave the tip of the cap there. All right, let's jump to, is it redundant to go to defense and then offense? We've talked about quarterback and wide receiver.
No.
Okay. Offense? Defense.
All right, defense is easy, Seattle.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the backbone of this team. They are the 5-man rotation for the Mariners when healthy. You can depend on this defense. That was probably the easiest one for me when it came to deciphering who was who. This defense gave up 285 total yards per game. That's like 6th in the NFL. When it came to passing, they're top 10. When it came to defending the run, they were top 3. When it comes to points, they were first in the game. 17.2 points they gave up. This was the easiest one to pick. And then Rams, Niners, AZ.
Yes, AZ again. We can almost just say running back will be interesting, but we can almost just say AZ is last in pretty much everything. They could have the number 1 pick next year. They are expected to be one of the worst teams in football, and they were last year as well. They had the number 3 pick for a reason. Ultimately, it's coming down to those top 3 teams. totally agree with you. Seattle at number 1. The Rams had, in theory, a really good defense. Like, they still solid DVOA. I mean, these two teams were 1-2 in DVOA pretty much all year long. But you saw them break a bit at the end of the season. They allowed 30 or more points, I think 4 of their last 6, including 30 twice to the Panthers. It didn't end up costing them the second time around, the more important of the 2 games. But that defense started to not only bend but break.
Mm-hmm.
And Seattle's did not. And so that to me is a really obvious gap also. And I think an area the Rams didn't get a ton of critique about. Like, people kind of overlooked it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when they added Trent McDuffie, it was like, oh, that takes them over the top. And it's like, but they need him. They had a hole there. They needed help. Let's go coach.
Coach.
This one's going to be in hot water.
This is tough. It's tough because Sean McVay has been to, 2 Super Bowls?
Yes.
1-1. The Rams have been relevant every single year, minus 1 year that he was the head coach there. He's been, 6 years now he's been there?
Since 2017 was his first season.
Dang, really?
Mm-hmm.
Goodness
I think
gracious.
10. I think this was 10 or is going to be 10.
He has more wins. Obviously, he's had more opportunities to win. But then you go over to Mike Macdonald. Both of these guys have revolutionized their size of the ball. Everyone is looking, not everyone, I guess a lot of people, they're looking at what Mike Macdonald is doing and saying, how can we duplicate that? That's how you know you've had a real effect on the league. When people are looking at your scheme and what you're doing, saying, how do we replicate that? People are looking at Sean McVay and have already tried to replicate it. He's been in the league longer. They both have 1 Super Bowl. Sean McVay has been to 1 more than, obviously, Macdonald. At this point of their careers, it's Sean McVay. I think Sean McVay, just because of the longer resume. I think that if Macdonald was in the league as long as Sean McVay's been in the league, then I'd say it's probably Macdonald. But just because we've seen McVay do this year after year after year, and I know those guys are going to get on me. Why are you pumping up the Rams so much? We beat them. Completely agree with what you're saying. But if you're looking at, you got a job posting, and you're looking for a certain job, leadership position, okay, and you look at both resumes, you're going to look harder at the one that has way more experience. Even though, you might want to go young and go this way. Guess what? That guy's young too, right? Dang, they're the same age, and he just has so much more experience. I think eventually Macdonald will be a better coach or nose-to-nose with this dude right now. I think that defensively he is innovating, and teams are trying to do what he is doing here defensively. People have been doing that with Sean McVay for years already, even though we know what tree he comes from. It makes sense. So get on me if you want to. Macdonald, I love you, baby. I got your back. I think in a few years you will surpass him because I think that you got another Super Bowl in you. But right now, unfortunately.
I'll say this. I did give a tip of the cap to Macdonald over Shanahan, which initially I didn't. My initial rankings, I did the same thing where I went by resume. I know Shanahan hasn't won 1, but he's been to 2, and I really put a lot of weight into last year, losing so many players due to injury, and for that matter, losing more players due to injury over the last several years than any other team. And I thought, well, they've still managed to be competitive in quite a few of those years. However, sometimes with the 49ers, there's some drama. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of a tent. Like, I think Shanahan is a brilliant play caller and did a lot with a banged up team. Is very clearly good at developing quarterbacks. Sam Darnold talked a ton about what it meant for him to be there and how important that step was before getting to Minnesota, right? Everyone looks at him with Minnesota and the Vikings and they're like, they tapped in. And it's like, wait a minute, there was a stop in between where Sam's like, that's where I really turned the page. So credit Kyle Shanahan for that. But I think there's a little more credit that Mike Macdonald deserves for how quickly he took control of this culture, not having that experience, being at the time just 37 years old, not having anything that he could prove to these guys yet, and being kind of strict, kind of old school. You know what I mean?
Like, who else did that?
Huh?
You know who else did that?
Who?
McVay.
Came in and
is that what you're talking about? No, you're talking about Macdonald right now.
Yeah, came in and just kind of persuaded these guys And I don't know how he did it. You know what I mean? This young guy who hadn't done it before with guys that were here before he was. And you did not hear anything. There was no drama. There was no holdouts. There were no issues. Everyone was on the same page. Full participation at OTAs. And look, he had a healthier and better roster than Shanahan, but I also thought that he didn't get enough credit for how much buy-in he was able to get. So I gave him the nod. Not over McVay.
Not over McVay.
Yeah, no, I went McVay, McDonald, Shanahan.
And Shanahan hasn't won the big game. He's been there several times now.
Yeah.
McDonald's 1 for 1.
Someone said, to be fair, what you're really doing is showing how ridiculous this division is because 3 of the 5 best head coaches in the NFL are probably here.
Facts.
That's the thing. If you had these guys each in different divisions, they'd be number 1 usually. Okay, I did have special teams was a request from listeners.
Okay, that's easy.
Yeah, Seattle.
I might even put Niners after them and then the Rams, then AZ.
The Niners improved on special teams in 2025. I was looking at their special teams DVOA. Rams invest the least. They improved as the year went on. But, yeah, they don't invest there, and it shows. So I feel like a lot of people looked at some Rams favoritism here, but the defense got a heavy nod. There for Seattle.
It's not even close, in my opinion.
Yeah.
When it comes to the defense.
Well,
in some areas, their defensive line is something to be reckoned with, but I'll still take our defensive line over them.
Totally. If we broke it down by category where you're looking at like, okay, just corners, prior to Trent McDuffie, I would have said Seattle gap everyone else. But, you know, it's a little more even now. But still, it wasn't by position group, whole defense. Seattle still gets it. Seattle wins defense, wins special teams, second with coach. Second with wide receiver. I like the wide receiver conversation, frankly, the most. Because
I think the Hawks are deeper, and there's opportunity because we didn't see Torrey Horton with a full season. We haven't seen Rashid Shaheed with a full offseason integrated into this offense. So I think the Hawks can and will surpass them at the wideout spot.
The NFL's first ever Thanksgiving Eve matchup has been announced. We'll get to that at 12:30. Right now, let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, real Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump
Hey,
Stacy.
before we go, who's your offense, though?
Rams.
Yeah,
The thing is,
I just wanted to see.
I know.
I wanted to see.
I held off. Oh, we didn't get to running back. I forgot. I had Arizona actually not in 4th. So I wanted to give them a shout out for that. I just didn't want to. I was like, ooh, I'm realizing the order I put these. We're starting Rams. I better switch it up.
I'm just glad we're not getting lit up on text lines.
I'm actually really proud. I'm proud of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think we handled it delicately.
I think we did.
Okay, Curtis, we're ready.
Headline 1, the NFL announced their international slate of games earlier today, and the Seahawks will not be going overseas this season. What's the real headline?
Great news, Bump. You get to spend every week of the season with us.
Hey,
Yay.
buddy.
Man, I was ready.
Hey, big guy.
Eat fish and chips and broths and all this stuff
You
that
were
I normally
basically
don't
packing
eat.
your bags.
I had yesterday is crazy. I organized
Bangers and
yesterday.
mash.
I got rid of a whole bunch of clothes. I got to make space and getting ready for the trip, but not going to happen. But it's all right. It's okay. We'll stay here domestically. And,
You seem happy about it.
And just, I
You
really
seem so happy.
I didn't want to go
Really
anywhere.
excited.
Who wants to have a full expense paid trip overseas with a per diem and you don't have to spend money
lame.
and sleep in
Nothing can beat the power of friendship, Bump.
Yeah.
Exactly. We'll always be together, right? No, I'm sad.
It's from Greece, yeah.
Yeah.
I picked up on the reference.
Thank you. Stacey gave me that dog, when the dog looks at you, you're trying to figure out what you're doing. Like, yeah. Maybe I thought you would know that one. What's going on? Looking like Lukey over here.
I was just trying to encourage you. Yeah. What's next?
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark and ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips are publicly supporting a 24-team college football playoff. What's the real headline?
Well, yeah, of course it's the power conferences that aren't the SEC or Big Ten that feel that way. They're like, let's get some of our schools in here.
So I had a friend who went to a conference in Nashville, and they were saying how it's just a good old boys club. Like, you just show up, you get drunk, you listen to a speaker or two, but it's all a clique. That's what I imagine the CFP is going to be. It's going to be a good old boys club. Hey, Big 10, Big 12, SEC. Hey, we got 10 of our teams in this piece, and I guess we'll let a smaller school in that overachieves a little bit. That's what this is becoming. It's going to be a good old boys club, just like everything else in college football becomes once you start separating those smaller schools. If they were being legit about it and getting smaller schools in, I wouldn't like it. And I wouldn't like it because smaller schools do not beat these bigger schools.
Yeah.
Not anymore, especially with NIL. So I don't like it. And even so now, knowing the climate of it and what they're trying to accomplish, which is get more Big 10, Big 12, SEC schools in, I still don't like it. But what I do like is more football.
I love more football. 24 is excessive. That is excessive. Like, I would understand. I totally got. I know some people weren't in favor of going to 12. I didn't mind it at all. I actually liked it. I could maybe see a case for 60. 24 is a lot.
Look, just no breaks in between rounds until you get to the finals. Like this, let's not drag this thing out week after week, just like a regular playoff, and then you get a couple weeks for the final. But no, I don't like it. But I won't be mad at it because I love more football.
What were you guys more disappointed to hear about a possible expansion to 24 teams for the college football playoff, or a possible expansion to 76 for March Madness? Like, what to you?
I think March Madness, because at least expanding to 24 teams, those teams have been good for the most part of the season. Like, yeah, you can go on like a 2 or 3 game losing streak in college football and still finish, with 8 or 9 wins. Whereas like the NCAA tournament, the teams that already get in are the ones that are just barely above 500 usually. And now you're adding even more of those teams. Like that's just, it's not going to be a good quality.
I would say I'm counter on the other side because there could possibly be a team to win a game in that tournament. Whereas in football, I do not see a smaller Division I team. And you're going to have to play a high seed, right? Beating Ohio State. Like, it's going to be a scrimmage for those guys. Whereas in hoop, you never really know.
So you're like, blowouts aren't fun, but you have a chance for Cinderella stories at least with March Madness.
Yeah, I don't see any in the CFP.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 3, the Kraken have partnered with the Sportsology Group to perform an audit of their entire hockey operations department. What's the real headline?
They could save themselves some money on this one. I think a 5-year-old could figure out what's wrong with this team. They should pay us to just be like, I think you guys need more scoring. You can make this check.
It's pretty easy.
Here's their mission. Sportsology Group is a leading provider of premium knowledge, strategic advisory, and operational support in the sports industry. Our experts is focused on franchise owners, global leagues. Stop it. Get hockey guys in the building. Get hockey people who have done it. Get scouts who have a track record. We're overthinking this. I get the support side and looking at things from a different angle when it comes to technology and all that good stuff. When it comes down to it, humans play the game. You take a bit of that technology, you mix it in with humans who have been around the game, and you go forward that way. I don't want this to be an AI team, a team that's just built off of just straight data, because data doesn't tell you that this player is tough as heck and he will knock you into the boards. Data doesn't tell you that this player puts out just so much effort when he doesn't even have the puck that creates lanes or whatnot. It's a tricky game. I think you got to respect the data because it will help you. But at the end of the day, just hire the right people and get hockey dudes around this team.
We were talking about the Seahawks earlier, ranking them among the NFC West in a couple different categories. Mo from Puyallup said, I think we're the most disrespected Super Bowl team. Do you think that's the case? I think there have been some other teams that people kind of thought, oh, that was good for them, but didn't necessarily expect them to come back and repeat.
Not in the last 10 or 15.
I was thinking
I can't think of a team that's been disrespected like that.
I think it's more that people, the next best team is in their division. So people are going to look at the Rams, their track record, their resume, favorite. They're going to think that what Seattle did was like a little bit of a, what you're going to hear from a lot of analysts is that defense is more volatile than offense. And it is easier to predict that a good offense can repeat than it is that a good defense can repeat, which fine. I get it. But I'm thinking of, like, I don't know, at 2015 when the Broncos and Peyton Manning beat the Panthers. Exactly. And people were like, well, Peyton's going to retire. He gets to run off into the sunset. Yeah, this defense is great, but, like, it was a good for you guys Super Bowl.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think it's easier to fall in love with prolific offenses. And I mean, when's the last time a dominant defense, a team led by a dominant defense, went back-to-back? Hardly any teams have gone back-to-back anyway, but at least made an appearance. You got to go back to the Seahawks to at least make an appearance.
Maybe a good conversation for another day. I like the question. You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. 2 big announcements today. 1, a new season of Netflix's Quarterback. We'll tell you who's in it. Plus, the NFL's first ever Thanksgiving Eve matchup has been announced. That's next.
Nothing like facing the Astros just when you need to get right. Man, that's fun to say. Getting well against the Astros, beating the Astros, Mariners own the Astros. Good stuff.
Gone! Grand slam! Dom Canzone, the first of his career.
Today, Game 3 in Houston as the M's go for 3 in a row and the series win. First pitch at 5:10, pregame at 4. Only on Seattle Sports.
What's up? It's Bump here, letting you know we have some big events coming up at Silver Reef. We got Crazy Train, an Aussie tribute to the Prince of Darkness, headline Saturday, July 25th. Also, Howie Mandel, a famous comedian, returns to Silver Reef on Friday, October 9th. Tickets sold out fast last time. Make sure you get your tickets before they sell out again. But don't wait until July or October to check out Silver Reef Casino Resort. Book a tea time at Loomis Trails, man. Spend the weekend up there. The golf course is beautiful. There's water everywhere. And relax in deluxe rooms and enjoy a meal at the steakhouse. You can watch the game and have some fun at their sports restaurant and enjoy the Cantina, authentic Mexican restaurant. The burritos are on point. Plenty of reasons to go up there, and I haven't even mentioned the spa yet. Book your stay at silverreefcasino.com. I love it there. It's an easy drive and worth the trip. And it has some of the cheapest gas on the west side, so your wallet won't hate you. Hop on I-5, exit 260, Silver Reef Casino Resort, silverreefcasino.com.
Hey, it's Shannon O'Kelly from IRG, and tonight at 6, we're hosting a free live webinar to talk all about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
Which joints have you seen good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Dr. Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Are you in pain? Join us tonight at 6 and learn all about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. Register for our free live webinar at irgpt.com/events. irgpt.com/events.
My first car sale was from Michigan. I get this lead. This guy had been looking for this very specific truck across the whole U.S., and he's concerned about rust. And I'm like, why don't we FaceTime? I will crawl beneath the truck. I literally was on my back beneath this vehicle, showing him all the welds that he wanted to see. He agreed, put down a deposit, held the truck, flew out that night from Michigan. I picked him up at the airport. He had his cashier's check. We went through everything, and that was my first car sale. So here's the catch. If you're willing to put a limit on what you're willing to do to be a good person, to help somebody out, or to help in the community, then that limit exists. So you don't. You just do what it takes to be the type of person you want to be and to help people like you hope that they would help you. And it doesn't matter. You just do what it takes.
The Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Go ahead, take the leap. Upgrade your pad with Snohomish PUD. Trim your energy costs and cozy up your home with rebates on windows, insulation, heat pumps, and more. Get the jump on comfort and savings you'll enjoy for years. Snohomish PUD has helped customers save energy and money for over 45 years. Don't wait. Hop over to snowpud.com/rebates.
Mariners and Astros today in Houston. 5:10 first pitch, 4 o'clock pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Mike Salk here for all my friends at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. And the show lineup is pretty sick. You like comedy? Chris Tucker, Friday, June 26th. And David Spade on Saturday, August 15th. For music, Hinder is going to be here Friday, July 3rd. And then a little country music, Mitchell Tenpenny on Friday, July 10th. You can go to snocasino.com for all those details. Remember, it's Seattle's closest. It's Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Please game responsibly.
No matter how old you get, you always remember that one great teacher. Hi, this is Rick Riz, inviting you to join WSECU in celebrating Teacher of the Week. Great teachers inspire. Nominate a teacher you feel has changed a life in our community. This year, we're going to honor 24 great teachers with grants of $500, courtesy of WSECU, the credit union for Washington. Teachers are the real MVPs. Nominate an exceptional teacher now at mynorthwest.com/teacher.
This baseball season, Home Comfort Alliance is changing the game. John Curley here. Get the price of a new heating and AC system in just 60 seconds on your phone with no pressure, no waiting. Just a few questions and you get a winning personalized price. That's a home run. And if your system is over 12 years old, it could be costing you up to 20% more or could soon fail. Score a personalized price for a new system in 60 seconds at homecomfortalliance.com. Call the comfort people. Home Comfort Alliance.
Still planning your summer vacation? Tired of airports and long drives? Anacortes Yacht Charters has a better option. Cruise the San Juan Islands aboard a fully equipped yacht. Take the helm of a bareboat charter or hire a skipper to explore on your terms. Quiet coves, lively harbors, no schedules. Just a tide guide and a sense of adventure. With a fleet of 50 powerboats and sailboats, AYC has options for groups large and small, from beginner to old salt. Start your San Juan adventure at ayc.com/KIRO.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
The NFL's first ever Thanksgiving Eve matchup has been announced. Why not? It'll be the Packers at the Rams on Netflix. I think that's a good Thanksgiving Eve game. It feels Thanksgiving-y.
Packers should play on Thanksgiving.
Well,
I always
Packers-
love Thanksgiving in a
more games.
dome stadium in Southern California.
The Packers, the Lions, the Cowboys should always play on Thanksgiving.
Also, how come we know like a quarter of the Rams' schedule already, and we don't know anything about the Seahawks?
Okay, I will let you know. Someone did text that in
That's
when we were talking about the Seahawks being one of the most disrespected teams. That one person did say, "Look, the Seahawks have had 0 special game leak announcements yet. Are they the most disrespected, pushed aside Super Bowl champ ever?" And I kind of laughed at first because I thought they were joking. However, you and this texter have made a point.
The Packers, the Lions, and the Cowboys should always be played on. We're messing with American tradition now. All right, now it's going too far.
I'll say this. If the Seahawks do not get any holidays and not the full slate of prime times, I am all on board that they've been wildly disrespected. That would be insane. Can you imagine if they get like 3 primetime games? Or if like they're not on any holiday, no Thanksgiving, no anything?
They'll get some prime time. They'll
They'll
get us
certainly get some.
They'll get us
But
on a couple Thursdays.
I would assume you get
Monday.
5.
You should get a Sunday night. Even though that makes my start of my week hectic, but you should get a Sunday night too.
I will concede to everyone, not even concede because I'm with them on this one saying it, that the Rams are getting the spotlight here. Also announced today, we're getting a new season of Netflix's Quarterback on July 14th. This year's cast will be Jaden Daniels, Joe Flacco, Baker Mayfield, and Cam Ward. It will chronicle the 2025 season.
Why is Joe Flacco on this?
Why not? We got to see
They
inside the
usually
Browns.
have like a backup quarterback.
Who was the backup last year?
They had Marcus Mariota.
Well, he was actually
Mariota,
competing for
year
a spot,
one.
though, right?
No, he was with.
Was that one too?
Mariota was the backup. Well,
Atlanta.
Kirk Cousins was the backup last year with Atlanta.
Marcus Mariota, was he
No,
the
but
starter?
Kirk Cousins went in thinking he was going to be the guy, though.
Not
Then-
last year.
Then they drafted.
Cousins has been on twice.
Twice?
Once with Minnesota, once with Atlanta. The Atlanta one was when he got benched
Yeah.
for Michael Penix.
But
so he was the guy coming in.
They like to look at like several different. Maybe we get a rookie,
Joe,
maybe we get a backup.
I appreciate your services, 80s baby. Let's go. But come on now.
I think they want to get the full gamut of quarterback experience in the NFL.
I get that. That makes sense. All right, who does Joe play for?
Last year, he played for the Browns and Bengals.
I actually don't know who Joe plays for right now.
He's with the Bengals right now.
Okay, thank you.
Backing up Joe Burrow.
Yes, you're right, from the Browns to the Bengals. Okay, so of those four, Jaden Daniels, Joe Flacco, Baker Mayfield, Cam Ward, who's the star? Who becomes the star? Who are we all talking about in July?
It's going to be Cam Ward. He talks the most crap. Like, Cam Ward is going to give you so many sound bites. I'm not just saying it because he went to Wazoo. All right? He might not be the best out of that group, but he's going to give you so much to talk about.
Let's talk about another young quarterback here. The Panthers picked up Bryce Young's fifth-year option, but they don't have a contract in place beyond that. GM Dan Morgan was asked if this is a prove-it year for the former number 1 overall pick.
I think everybody on our roster has to prove every single day, their value and worth, and everybody knows that in this building, that you have to, go work and go earn everything. But yeah, Bryce, in terms of him having to earn it, everybody on the roster has to earn it. And again, he's headed in the right direction. We feel great about him. And again, we'll get it done at the right time.
Bump.
Everyone does not have to prove it. You know who can have a booty training camp? McMillan, bear down. You know who can have a booty training camp? Devin Lloyd, go Utes. You know who could have a booty training camp? Bryce Young, he's still going to be a starter. You put in Kenny Pickett, Will Grier, Haynes King. GMs, I know you got to say the right thing. I don't know. Why am I so grumpy today?
I like it. I feel like they're also dancing around, yes, he will be the starter, obviously, but they're also dancing around a lack of commitment. But, what they can outright say is, yeah, this is prove it. Yeah, we want to know if he can actually be the guy. Of course. We have not decided that yet.
He's going to be the starter, though. The way he said it is like, well, we don't know. We'll see what happens. He'll be the starter. And on every football team, there's at least 5 to 10 guys who don't have to do nothing during training camp. Just show up and get into shape.
And they're also being asked, though, does he need to prove he's your guy? Out beyond just the starter, does he need to prove to you that before he gets this extension and then he tries to back up? But everyone proves it every year.
I just don't like that part.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I know.
I guess for the average fan, maybe they really feel like, man, if JSN doesn't go to camp this year and doesn't look great, I don't know if he's going to start. JSN is good. He could be coming out of shape, which he doesn't. All right, he does not come out of shape. But there are certain players, rules don't apply. I get what you're saying about proving it going forward.
Yeah.
I just don't like the disclaimer before that.
Look, I know we've been joking that the Rams are getting the spotlight and the Seahawks as a Super Bowl champ are being ignored. But, what's this? The Rams are another part of a national conversation. It's long been rumored A.J. Brown could be dealt to New England on June 1st, but ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum wonders if another team could jump in line.
It has to be something with a first-round pick. Now, is it going to be a 27 first-round pick? Is it going to be a 28 first-round pick? But I think the fact that it's out there the way it is tells me that Philadelphia is hoping for another offer. So, obviously, it's been widely reported he's going to go to New England, but does a team like the Rams, who feel like, hey, we're trying to win right now, do they step up at the last minute and try to get him?
I don't think Seattle's making this trade, but I can think of another team trying to win right now.
I think a lot of teams trying to win right now.
It's just crazy. And it does become kind of funny. And look, the Rams are phenomenal. Maybe they will get to and win a Super Bowl, but I just like the idea of they'll find their way into a conversation. They are a modern Cowboys.
They
only
are
significantly better.
They are, because
they're actually getting to Super Bowls.
Everyone feels like they should be Super Bowl champions. That's what it is.
Yeah.
They feel like the Hawks snuck away with one, when really beat them 2 out of 3. Go ahead and check Monday's show, Bump Stacy, and click on, it was an hour 2, and Stacy will break it down to you why we won that game that they're crying about.
Now, beyond that, what do you think about the actual rumor itself? We spent time to begin this hour talking about how there's some depth questions in both wide receiver rooms for these two teams. You think the Rams should trade for A.J. Brown?
Yeah, I think they should. I hope they don't, but I think they should. They're not deep. They got 2 at the top, and everyone else is kind of floats around.
Yeah. Who's ready for a weapons-grade hot take about the NFC North? ESPN's Bart Scott says that Kyler Murray, you're gonna roll your eyes when he's talking. that Kyler Murray could be the best quarterback in the division by the end of the year?
I think the team that's going to really surprise a lot of people is the Minnesota Vikings. I think Kyler Murray, that addition right there. You talk about the Bears going, I've been that team that has won the division before, and then you go from being the hunters to being the hunted. I don't know if the Bears can sustain. You got the most talented, and arguably, I think at the end of this season, I think we may say that Kyler Murray is the most talented quarterback within that division. You pair him with Kevin O'Connell with the weapons that he has, a tight end and T.J. Hawkinson, you have Jefferson, you have Addison, then they go out and get a gritty guy like Jawan Jennings. I think the sky's the limit for Kyler Murray. When you're doing all that, you're going to have little Mandalorian running around here for 25 seconds with guys that's one-on-one down the field.
Sit down, Caleb Williams. Move over, love.
Sit down,
Sorry,
Caleb.
Jared Goff.
Sit down, Love. Sit down, Goff.
Is he right? Will Kyler Murray, does he have a chance to be the best quarterback in the NFC North when this is all said and done?
Of course he has a chance. I have a chance of winning the lottery if I go out and buy a ticket. You know, there's a chance. But am I putting it on Kyler Murray? Nah, I'm sticking with the races between, in my opinion, Caleb and Jordan Love. I think those two. And I'm not, no disrespect to Goff. Goff has put together great seasons, but
why might Bart be thinking this?
Because of the weapons and the head coach. Weapons in the head. He's thinking that O'Connell's going to go over there and fix Kyler Murray. O'Connell's offense runs at its best when you're under center. You know who struggles under center? Guys who are 5'7", 5'8".
Yeah, I think it's interesting because so much of it is about the weapons around him and a little less just about him and what he brings. Obviously, a former number 1 overall pick, but like, I don't know what Kyler Murray has at an elite level for a full season. Yeah. Like, we've never really seen it. It's all still there in theory, but he's clearly not a rookie, but like, he's not super young anymore. I think it's an incredibly intriguing landing. It was the best destination for him, the best landing spot, the single best situation. I think it more than any other quarterback landing spot most drastically impacts that team's outlook for the season. I am hesitant to say he's suddenly going to become the best quarterback in the NFC North.
Kyler Murray has played 7 seasons. How many do you think he's played a full season?
1.
3.
3 of 7.
First 2 when he started, and then in 2024.
That's not good. No. Have the Seahawks become a destination team? That's next on Bump and Stacy.
Brock and Salk.
This team is not built for Cal Raleigh to go over 32.
Morning 6 to 10.
Like, the biggest reason the Mariners did what they did last year, by far, was that Cal Raleigh went from being a good player to a superstar player. And right now is mired in an 0 for 32 slump that bookends around a stint of near IL.
And I think injury is a big culprit in this.
Well, how could it not be? I mean,
he struggled beforehand,
but not
some
like
would
this.
say.
Brock and Salk, only on Seattle Sports.
I've been talking about my experience being on the Arc Sport, which is a fully electric wake boat, for about, a month and a half now. And I had a ton of fun trying it out on the water. It's truly unlike any boat I've seen. But instead of just talking about it, answering questions about it, I think what I'm going to do instead is start letting people know that they can actually try it out for themselves. And it's super easy. Go to arcboats.com/demo, fill out the form, and get out on the water. Again, I can talk about these features all day long. Heated seats and seat backs, a retractable tower, touchscreen dash, low maintenance. But you really do have to see and experience this boat for yourself. And you can for free. Book a demo. It's easy. Even better, they'll pick you up on Lake Washington, Lake Union, or Lake Sammamish if you can't come to them in Kirkland. Go to arcboats.com/demo, fill out the form, and you'll be out on the water. Arc, you have to see it to believe it.
Well, spring is all about getting ready for summer, isn't it? Hey, Brock Heward here. And working out in your own home, well, it is the best. We've been doing so for years. And you can allow Top Fitness to create your own home gym. And right now, get spring special financing with 0% interest for 12 months. Plus, mention me and receive an $150 credit towards any purchase over $1,000. Spring is here. So go get into Top Fitness with locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or simply visit topfitness.com for more info.
Looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, D.R. Horton has the right home for the best value. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Seattle, last chance to get in the game. Life Surge is coming May 16th, and this is your shot to be there and meet Russell Wilson with a purchase of a VIP reserve ticket. Plus, hear from an elite lineup, Tim Tebow, Robert Herjavec, Sage Steele, and more. This is your opportunity to be equipped to make kingdom impact in your life and business. If you're ready to level up, this is where you show up. Angel of the Winds Arena, Saturday, May 16th. Get your tickets now at lifesurge.com.
Mariners and Astros today in Houston. 5:10 first pitch, 4 o'clock pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Dave Wyman here, and you've heard me talk about a local company for over a year now I really love working with, Harley Exteriors. You can expect a no-pressure consultation. They're great people to work with, and their windows are beautiful. I recently met with them, and I was excited to hear about the many Seattle sports listeners they've worked with. And now Harley Exteriors has stepped up with a can't-miss offer. Right now, get $450 off each new window, $1,000 off each patio or entry door, 12-month or 18-month no-interest, no-payment options, plus $200 off your final project total. If that isn't enough to get you started on a new project, I don't know what is. Schedule a consultation just like I did. Give them a call at 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Minimum purchase of 4 windows required for window discount. Qualifying windows must be 36 by 36 or larger. No size minimum on patio or entry doors. Financing subject to credit approval. Cannot be combined with other offers outside this promotion. Offer valid through May 31st.
Wait! Before you change the station, listen to this.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax deduction.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Feeling lucky? Don't miss the Lucky Spring Classic Collector Car, Truck, and Boat Auction. Saturday, June 6th at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Event Center. Up to 200 collector, vintage, and classic vehicles, many going to the highest lucky bidder with absolutely no reserve. Get lucky, get local, and get in line. Visit luckyoldcar.com for a list and pictures of auction vehicles. Or call 206-467-6531 for bidding and consignment details.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
And when you win a Super Bowl, you are seen as a winner, obviously. You can also kind of maybe have an easier time in free agency as a destination team. It's something that both Peter Schrager and Mina Kimes were talking about recently on NFL Live. First, take a listen to Schrager.
I think this is a cool, sneaky storyline, and that in recent years, it was like you go to Buffalo for that one-year deal, or you go to Kansas City for that one-year deal, and years before that, it was always Indianapolis and New England. If you want to chase the ring, you go to those teams. Sounds like Seattle might be that destination moving forward, and they're not going anywhere. They're so young, they're so loaded, and their coach has no ego where it's not beating his chest like we're the team, that it becomes a very desirable destination for a veteran player who wants to play in big games. I thought this was a really telling statement, and I think this is just the start of what might be a several-year, I'm not going to say dynasty, but evolution of Seattle as one of these franchises that was always relevant, and they've won their Super Bowls, and they've been, of course, into multiple Super Bowls, but now maybe being the destination for veteran players. And Fowler could have signed a lot of different places, but he, like DeMarcus Lawrence a year ago, chose Seattle. I think that's pretty cool.
Are we popular now?
Yeah, you know what we are? We're popular amongst the older crowd, is what I'm hearing in that comment right there. I think we're popular amongst the younger crowd, but you need that youth to win championships, but you need the veterans to have that structure and show these guys how to be pros while you're doing it. So, no, I think Seattle low-key is a destination. Now, if you put another season together where you make a run at this thing, not necessarily even win it, but just make a run at it, get to the conference championship, maybe even get to the big game, and establish yourself as, for real, not just a one-hit wonder, then you really have folks trying to get here.
It's something that certainly has benefited teams in the past. You know, you're a great destination, and all of a sudden, if you're a defensive lineman, let's say, making your choice between two teams, Seattle's going to pay you just a little bit less, but you've got a friend like DeMarcus Lawrence who's texting you going, hey, come win a ring here. You know what I mean? You might only have one more year. Like, spend it here. It's something Mina Kimes was considering, particularly for veteran D linemen.
Yeah, and Peter, I'll add, I think it's an especially attractive destination for a defensive lineman in particular, because when you come to Seattle, they're not asking you to play every snap, line up outside the tackle, and get double-digit sacks. They truly rush as a team. They use their depth. All the defensive linemen run a lot of games. Sometimes you will be asking to drop into coverage to create opportunities and single opportunities, for other pass rushers. And then you get to play with these fantastic defensive tackles, Byron Murphy and Leonard Williams in particular. So I think you saw Lawrence last year have a bit of a renaissance when he came to Seattle. And I think a big part of that was not just his talent, but also his usage under Mike Macdonald. That, to me, has to also be appealing to a player like Dante Fowler, who is nearing the end of his career.
Escaping from Dallas, maybe. Bump, if you are a veteran defensive lineman in particular, what would seem really appealing about Seattle and their defense in particular?
Well, I think Mina pointed it out. One of them is that the snap counts. You're not asked to play every single snap. And I think when you reach your 30s, your body is talking to you differently, and you need that good rotation. I also think surrounding yourself with other players that require attention, too. Like, you line up, at any given point, you can have Leo out there, Jay Reed, Chenna, Dante. I mean, all right, you're probably going to double-team Leonard because he's your big boy, or Murphy if he's out there, depending on what combination is out there. And that allows you to get freed up. And then also just the scheme, how they use Nick Marwari in the blitz game, Devin Witherspoon in the blitz game, that can free you up as well. So I think you look at a combination of things. All right, what's the personnel like on that line? Are you the focal point? Nope, probably Leo, probably Murphy. Okay, double team there. How that second level can help you get open with the stunts and the blitzes that they have, and then just the energy that this team plays with overall.
Could the same be true for Seattle's offense? Like, you know, when we were all wondering where Devontae Adams would go, and it became clear he wasn't going to go to Seattle, but went to the Rams, and part of, everyone was probably wondering, well, yeah, I'm going to play with Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay's your play caller. I totally understand for an older wide receiver why you'd want to do that. Does Seattle have that card to play right now on offense? Clearly they do with defense, but does it become a destination for offensive veterans?
No, not right now. I mean, you have a new offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
You got to prove it. Now, if this offensive coordinator comes in here and does a good job and stays for another year, then, okay, you become attractive. The goal for these coaches is to survive in advance, right? Survive a year, improve a team, then go, especially offensively. That's what's going to happen here, because as long as Mike Macdonald is here, the defense is going to be locked down. The challenge is going to be for Mike Macdonald, it's to bring in a guy who is either in-house, who can run this offense the same, or a guy who's similar to keep things rolling. Once you've shown that you can either keep a guy or bring in a guy that runs the same stuff, then I think offensively you're saying, okay, let's go. Then also I think it's contingent on Sam Darnold. Is Sam Darnold still getting better and showing that he can lead? A wideout, if you got a quarterback over there who I trust, who I know can get me the football, then I'm going to be more attractive. With the offensive line, it's like, all right, the scheme. Am I a zone type of guy? Am I a gap type of guy? And then with the running back, it's do they run the football? Yeah. So I think there's opportunity here. I think if Kubiak was here for another year, guys would want to come here for sure.
Well, I could totally get it for a running back's point of view, right? Jadarian, I know he was drafted. He did not choose to come here, but he talked about really appreciating that Seattle was a team that ran it so often. But I was just about to ask you, and I'm glad you said it, I would assume for wide receivers, you're just looking at that quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Going like, look,
quarterback in the offense. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Like, I want to win a ring for sure. But do I want to play, with all things being equal, for Jacoby Brissett or Joe Burrow, right? Now, things are not equal between those two teams in those two situations. But yeah, I think you could sell someone, those free agents that are still out there, right? Cam Jordan's still out there, Joey Bosa. Now, I don't know who among this pool is retired or like announced that they aren't going to play. I have no idea. But there's still some intriguing names that I don't think Seattle will add, but it's a fun conversation for the rest of this season, for next year, into what benefit it gives you to keep winning in a way that you haven't in a while. And I start to wonder how they can do it offensively too. Because I agree with you. I don't think they're there yet.
No, another big year, or a big year by Sam, and I think people start turning their heads for real.
Yeah. All right, we are sticking with the NFL. Coming up at 1:15, 4 football questions for Bump. Before we get to that, joining us next, NFL Network's Brian Baldinger.
Nothing like facing the Astros just when you need to get right. Man, that's fun to say. Getting well against the Astros, beating the Astros, Mariners own the Astros. Good stuff.
Gone! Grand slam! Dom Canzone, the first of his career.
Today, Game 3 in Houston as the M's go for 3 in a row and the series win. First pitch at 5:10, pregame at 4. Only on Seattle Sports.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today.
In addition to treating ED and Peyronie's disease, we now offer testosterone replacement therapy. With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Hey, it's Shannon O'Kelly from IRG, and tonight at 6, we're hosting a free live webinar to talk all about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
Which joints have you seen good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Dr. Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Are you in pain? Join us tonight at 6 and learn all about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. Register for our free live webinar at irgpt.com/events. irgpt.com/events.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Got any markdowns on oil?
We've got many markdowns on oil.
How about on that new STP Any Mileage?
You'll save $5 when you buy 5 quarts of STP Any Mileage with an oil filter and get up to 5,000 miles of protection.
Heck of a markdown for quite a lot of miles.
At AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
People can see through if it's not genuine. And it's genuine here. The Johnsons always talk about in orientation meeting. Their dad and grandpa, they always maintain that it's a people business. We're not here to sell cars and work on cars. That's what we do, but it's really about just helping people. Every month we have a new employee orientation meeting, and the Johnsons present. They can't get out to all the stores every day and meet everyone, but at least they get to shake hands with new employees every month in the orientation meeting. And they tell everyone there's not one car deal or one repair order that is worth tarnishing our reputation and ruining an experience for a customer. That just is really what is instilled.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Bryce Miller makes his debut for the Mariners tonight against the Astros. First pitch at 5:10 p.m., pregame show at 4 p.m. Seattle's won 9 in a row against Houston. The NFL regular season schedule will be released tomorrow, but we already have announcements for a few primetime games, including the first ever Thanksgiving Eve game. It'll be Packers-Rams in L.A. on Wednesday, November 25th on Netflix.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Talking Seahawks and NFL with NFL Network's Brian Baldinger joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Baldy, how's it going?
Stacey, I'm good. I couldn't be better, to be honest with you.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I'm glad you're in a great mood to talk Seahawks a bit here. We have had, I'm going to start with, maybe it's a tired conversation. I don't know if it intrigues you at all, but it is by far one of the top questions we get from listeners. And it is, are the Seahawks being overlooked or disrespected after winning a Super Bowl? It sounds trite, but I'm going to throw the question your way because I totally get it. I completely understand. Do you think that they're being a bit overlooked despite being a Super Bowl winner?
Well, I don't know who's doing the evaluations on, May 13th. No, we don't even know what the schedule is. And we just finalized the draft, and we just started the offseason. So I don't even know how anybody could rank Seattle less than the favorite at this point, because the last time we saw a football game, they were a dominant game, a dominant player in the Super Bowl. And they were pretty dominant. I mean, San Francisco didn't score a touchdown against them. They're in the same division in the playoffs. I don't know how anybody could overlook Seattle. And if they are they worth listening to? Do they know anything?
Yeah, that's I think it's hard for people to believe in the Seahawks for the same reason they didn't think they were going to make the Super Bowl, is because of Sam Darnold. And they're going to say, well, he was carried by this defense, and they kind of forget the moments that he had during the season to propel this team in big games. What do you think the profile should be on Sam Darnold now that he's got a Super Bowl, he's got the monkey off his back?
Well, how many quarterbacks in the history of the NFL have won 14 or more games in back-to-back seasons? That's what Sam just accomplished. I mean, there's a handful of guys that can make that claim, and he did it in two different organizations. I don't know how you couldn't and you can't believe in Sam Darnold. He had the league's leading receiver. Nobody thought Jackson Smith-Njigba coming out of Ohio State was going to lead the league in receiving. Well, the quarterback allowed that to happen. I don't know, there's all kinds of different chatter out there. The one thing I know about the Seattle team, and I was around them a little bit, it's it is a rare team in that how good these guys actually get along. I mean, go watch that team warm up before a game and see if the entire team isn't out there on the field warming up together. And they love Sam Darnold. And so the respect for Sam, you talk to a guy like Gray Zabel, first-round pick last year, and what a guy like Big Cat Williams did for him during training camp when he had real doubts about his ability and was really questioning some of the confidence level you got to have. And then he went out and had basically a great season. I think people don't really understand Seattle. They don't look at them because they don't know them. They're not around that team. Anybody's around that team, you can feel the team just being around that team.
They are returning all but one starter from the Super Bowl. And, Baldy, one thing I hear from people is defense can be more volatile than offense year over year, and it is just easier to have faith in an elite offense rather than an elite defense. But I don't know. I look at that team, and while the defensive line is, getting a little bit older, they're still mostly the same guys, a great head coach. Everyone's healthy. No one's coming off serious surgery. Do you find that that's true in your own analysis, that defenses are just way harder to predict year over year?
I mean, they had such great depth. They lost, obviously they lost a good corner in Reek Woolen, but they just drafted 4 defensive backs, in the draft. And so, 3 of them are corners and one's a safety. When you're as good and sound as they were, I mean, you're just drafting for depth for the most part. And so, they could fill the corner position with what they have. It's about, drafting and developing. And I don't know if anybody's better than John Schneider. And so they have hit repeatedly throughout the draft, and that's why they have depth and young, great starters around the whole team. And then, picking up a, Big Cat Williams like they did, and, you join him with Byron Murphy. I mean, their interior is excellent. And, it starts with John Schneider and the organization and how they draft and how they coach and develop. We'll see what Brian Fleury is like replacing, a really talented offensive coordinator. I mean, I think that's the biggest question mark about this team is just trying to replace, a great offensive coordinator.
What do you think about their draft? Bud Clark kind of headlines that thing. Jadarian Price headlines it. Then you got Bud Clark and Julian Neal, Bo Stevens. It felt like a quiet draft, but a draft that was efficient and filled some voids in which they needed.
I think you said it right the first time when you said Bud Clark first. I mean, there's not a single player in college football that left this year with 15 interceptions. I mean, he's got ball skills, and they do travel. They do, his anticipation and how he reads routes, like, it's not going to surprise me to see him take it away a few times. Jadarian Price, I mean, you just go to the combine and watch Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price work out. And when the running backs were finished, there were only 2 players that stayed on the field. And all they did was catch passes till the next group came through. And that was Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. It almost told everybody watching, we love football. We can't get enough football. The combine is over for us, but we still want to go catch passes. I mean, the guy averaged 6 yards a carry. He doesn't have 300 total carries, and they need a running back. I think they struck gold. I don't know how they didn't trade up or trade down. I mean, they stayed there at 32, stayed there at 64, and took 2 really productive players. Julian Neal, look, he was a 1-year starter at Arkansas, but, he played 30 games at Fresno. He's played a lot of football. Bo Stevens, you just can't miss drafting Iowa offensive linemen. These guys, that's what they do. Like they bale hay, they corral pigs, they wrestle in high school, and they play football. That's all you do in Iowa, and that's what he is. Like he's going to be a depth player on the interior of that offensive line. I mean, you go through it. I think it was a great draft. Toledo has proven that the players that come out of that program can play at a high level. Forget about the MAC conference. I mean, they every year now they're putting out players that are playing at a high level in this league. So I don't know. I thought they did a really good job in the draft, and they didn't try to do anything crazy. They just sat there and took the best players that really filled big needs. Jadarian Price could be the starting running back week 1.
God, I'm just imagining now a bunch of guards from Iowa showing up in overalls with Keystone Light boxes.
That's kind of what they do. Some of them have mullets. Some of them have overalls on. All of them are just country strong. They've all been coached really well. They all know how to run block, something that most guys don't know how to do anymore. It's just, they do a great job at Iowa.
You mentioned maybe one of the bigger questions about this team being offensive coordinator. I started thinking it was running back, felt good with the choice of Price, and I simply don't know as much about game planning as all of you guys do, as Bump and Brock and you do. And so I didn't think about the OC, silly me. But take me kind of behind the scenes and in terms of look, for a brand new OC, he's been around, obviously was run game coordinator last year for San Francisco. What kind of challenges are you running into in your first year?
Well, I've been around Brian a lot. He's part of the quarterback collective, and it was just a matter of time before he got a job. These guys understand the system that Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, all these guys came out of. It's been ingrained in them how to run the outside zone. Like, there's a lot of hardcore. You don't just hand the ball off. There's landmarks. There's hardcore coaching points to running that play effectively and being good at it. There's new ways to do it with 2 and 3 tight ends on the field. Something that, Seattle did a lot last year with Sauber, and now Arroyo in his second year, along with obviously AJ. So, they at times stress, at times they've got 4 tight ends stressed for games last year, Kyler up. They've got a fullback in Robbie Hoots. Like, they've got flexibility in how they do things right now. There's times when there's just, JSN out there at receiver, and it's just fullbacks and tight ends out there, and they're just going to pound the belly of the beast. And I think, Brian understands all those combinations of when to use them, matchups, game planning, times of the game, 4-minute drill, all these different things that you've got to be adroit in order to be good at what you do.
Defensively, we're having a conversation, Stacy and I, about, okay, who is the best head coach in this division? And I think we both settled on Sean McVay simply because of his resume. But we said, look, give it a few more years, and Mike Macdonald is already in the conversation, but could pass him up. And it's simply because of what he's done defensively. It feels like the league is now going to look for that Kyle Hamilton, Nick Mawari, that kind of Swiss Army knife that can do a little bit of everything. When you look at this defense, what else is it that intrigues you other than the way that Nick Mawari has been able to kind of change the profile of it?
Well, before Mike became the head coach, he was often defensive coordinator in Michigan. He was a defensive coordinator in Baltimore. They led the league in defense in Baltimore. They gave up the fewest points. They had the most sacks. His matchup zone concepts, I don't know how everybody's not trying to steal what he's doing. Like, you can't get the ball over his head, all right? Maybe Matt Stafford can, because he's Matt Stafford, and they've got 2 of the best receivers, in the game today. And he's fearless in throwing the ball in the middle of the field. But you watch how long these guys are holding the ball against this defense. And it allows this, the defensive line to get after the quarterbacks. But his concepts look fairly simple, but they are so well taught. And it's going to be just the way, Sean McVay and Kyle and, everything coming out of Washington, back with Mike Shanahan, all those guys that came out, Kevin O'Connell, et cetera, all those guys that came out kind of took that concept of offense, and it's now shared amongst most of the league right now. Sean Mannion will bring it to Philadelphia this year. But what Mike's doing on defense right now is going to get copied, and it's going to get they're going to be doing it some in Baltimore this year. It takes a while for it to kick in. You need certain ability. Obviously, Nick Emenwari can really help with his flexibility. But that's the new defense in this business right now. And nobody teaches it better than Mike.
He is NFL Network's Brian Baldinger, kind enough to join us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Thanks, Baldy. We appreciate your time.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, anytime. Yep. Have a great day.
See ya. What did you make of kind of that last answer he gave? I loved that you asked the question, and I loved the conviction in his response, right? Like, when we interviewed him at the Super Bowl, he was really high on Nick Emenwari, and low-key expecting him to be like, well, I mean, Nick Manwari is my favorite thing. Can I talk about him? And instead, it hits you with, like, people will copy what Mike Macdonald is doing.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of things about this are locked down and innovative and confusing to opposing quarterbacks. I mean, he had real conviction in what he was saying about this defense.
He said he doesn't know why people aren't copying or trying to copy, and he said they're match zone. And there's a play specifically where I think shows exactly what they're talking about. So it's against the 49ers. Remember the interception Drake Thomas had to kind of seal the deal near down the goal line. And we spoke to him on a Thursday, and I said, well, it looked like a cover 4, right? He had 2 eye safeties. He was the flat defender, the edge defender, so he was the first defender outside of that corner that's over there. And you see the 2 safeties drop, and you see the corners drop, right? And I said, look, it looked like cover 4. It looked like you got to jump on it. He said, well, at that point, it turned into man. And the reason why it turned into man was because he had no other threat in the flat, right? If say they were lined up in a 3-by-1, there were 3 receivers to his side, he would drop into the flat right now and try to sort it out. In his case, he was patient. He ended up being one-on-one with Christian McCaffrey. So because all the threats were gone, he was patient. It turns into man. He's locked on now, and he's rolling. Just an example of what match zone means, because I don't know if everyone kind of understands what happens there. And what that shows is just the patience that these guys are coached, right? He's not – coach ain't saying fly to the flat right now. You got his quarters, and you have the flat. You fly to the flat. It's like, no. If nothing threatens you there, you be patient and sort it all out. You got a running back in the backfield. That's your only threat now to the flat because the number 1 receiver is gone already. That's become man for that corner over there. That corner is going to start off in quarters saying, okay, I got quarters. He's looking inside. There's no other receivers inside. The only threat is the running back now. I know my flat defender is going to have that running back, so I'm locked in now. It's man. You know what I mean? So he allows the players to sort it out, and that's what jacks up quarterbacks because pre-snap, body language, alignment, quarters. You get into the snap, boom, okay. Now it's just man. And most zones turn into man anyway, right? If you're running down the field, I'm in cover 3, I'm locked into you now, you're going to be my guy. But it's the patience from the guys in that second level that and the safeties that really get these guys.
How do you get that? How do you coach that? Is it trust in the scheme, trust in each other, chemistry? Like, how do you get everyone to have that level of patience?
It's trusting that everyone knows what they're seeing and they're going to follow the rules that have been given to you by your coach. It's trust that what we've seen on film, right? It's not even trust, it's knowing that what we've seen on film is going to come to light when we hit the field. So it's a lot of trust going on, a lot of study going on, and a lot of reaction. Right? Everyone has to be on the same page. And how you do that, you get coached up.
Well, I have news for you. I have 4 more questions for you. Let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory. Going inside the game. What former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, we talked about it a bit earlier in the show, but let's get back to it. Why are players pushing for more grass fields?
One, it just feels better. The best field I ever played on in my life was at Auburn. It was the softest, crispest grass I've ever played on. It was beautiful. And you feel the cushion in your brakes, and when you fall, you feel it a bit more. The ground is hard either way, but you get real grass on there. It's soft. And also, 28% higher risk of injury on non-contact situations when you are on turf. I get why stadiums want to use turf. It's easier to maintain. They do a bunch of concerts. It doesn't really jack up the field that much. But you got to think about the product, right? And someone texted in that stadiums make way more money off of concerts than NFL, and they're probably right? 8 games in the NFL. I get that. But the NFL is the biggest yielder in this country when it comes to just sports in general, right? So there's a give and take. I understand that it's easier to maintain, and you get the Swifties out there, and they're not going to jack up your field because it's on turf and it's matted down or whatnot. But if you keep getting these injuries, man, I mean, the NFLPA, they're going to come at you even harder than they've been, right? They're asking for grass. They're asking for even splitting revenue with other situations going on. If the players were taken care of and the NFLPA felt like the players were taken care of, you'd probably eliminate a lot of the back and forth that you're having with them right now. As a football player, it's so much easier and more efficient to get in and out of your breaks without feeling like your foot gets stuck in the turf. If that's what happened with Zach Charbonnet, he made a move, his foot got stuck in the turf, and someone hit him, and when that foot is stuck and that leg twists, everything is gone. So, listen, injuries are going to happen. If you can do anything to help prevent them or have them happen at a lower rate, I think you should do that. But these stadiums also are about their money, and having field turf changes the profit margins.
For a little bit of background on what Bump mentioned with getting a split of that revenue, earlier we played a cut in Timeline. You guys can go back and listen to it, of J.C. Treader, NFLPA president, saying that, look, grass is safer. Bump had all the numbers for you. And if teams are going to put players at risk, then players should be able to profit from the reason those teams want turf.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be some big cut, but he was implying there should be some kind of exchange there. Second down. What year 2 quarterback will make the biggest jump?
I think it's going to be Jackson Dart with the New York Football Giants. And he compared himself to Jalen Hurts coming out of the draft. I laughed and then watched film and agreed. I think he is a Jalen Hurts, but with a better arm than Jalen Hurts. He's going to have weapons over there. Scatterboo's going to be healthy. We all know Tracy, who ran all over us. You got Singletary. They got 3 running backs who can go. Malik Neighbors is there as well. Darius Slayton had a good year, or a good game against us a few years back. You draft a receiver out of Notre Dame who I really like, at Malachi Fields. You got Mooney. And you bring over Isaiah Likely, who was probably the better tight end with Baltimore last year. Just Andrews is more accomplished. You're going to go after him a bit more. He's going to have some weapons. And then you beef up this offensive line with Francis out of University of Miami. You got a defense over there where I'm talking myself into it. Do I want the Jets or do I want the Giants? What are we doing over here?
Make a decision.
Make a dang decision. But, no, I think he's going to be surrounded with a bunch of talent, and Harbaugh, who understands how to coach a mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, you look at Lamar Jackson, he doesn't take many big hits. And a lot of that is God-given, and a lot of that is making him aware of the situation as well. And look, Jackson Dart got one of the greatest mentors in football over there, Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston is going to teach him how to be a pro in this league. But I'm halfway joking with Jameis. Don't come after me. All right, but he'll make him comfortable. But, no, I think Jackson Dart is set up not to win the division, but to make some noise.
I look forward to your jump from the Jets to the Giants. Like, I just know it's gonna happen.
Hey, this is like Tupac and Biggie, man. I'm leaving the West Coast and headed east.
That's
to
exactly
support
what
this
it
team.
is. Third down. If Aaron Rodgers does not sign with the Steelers, what should he do?
He should do what most retired people do. Either you go to Florida, play golf there, deal with the Gators, or you go to Arizona, play golf there. Go to Arizona, retire. But first, before you retire, you check in with the Arizona Cardinals, because they got a quarterback situation over there. I said earlier this week, or maybe last week, that I thought that Carson Beck is a guy who can sit there and who can learn for a while. You got Jacoby Brissett over there as well. No other team needs a quarterback the way the Arizona Cardinals need a quarterback. I'm looking at Atlanta. Nope. I'm looking at Carolina. No, they're experimenting with this guy. Even at the Jets. Nope. You just got Geno over there. There's no other franchise that needs a quarterback in the worst way. Maybe even Indianapolis, because Daniel Jones is banged up, but it sounds like he might be back. But I'm looking at Arizona. Go where it's warm and go do your thing.
Fourth down. Let's talk about the quarterback here. What do you think Sam Darnold may have more liberty to do this year?
I think that because of what he's done over the past year, naturally you get more reign of the offense. You get to go to the line of scrimmage, chain some plays, get some checks. From what I understand from last year, Kubiak always gave these guys 2 plays where the quarterback can check into a different play. But there are some quarterbacks who can check into whatever they want. That's what Russell Wilson wanted over here, and they weren't really willing to give that to him quite yet. I think Sam Darnold, after winning a Super Bowl, after developing a relationship here, he's been with Fleury before over there with the 49ers. It's not like he doesn't know this offense. I would assume that eventually they're going to open up this offense and allow him to call some plays and check out of things. Man, can, let's go here. So it's the development of a eighth-year quarterback, which is going to be fascinating because we typically don't talk about 8th-year, 7th-year quarterbacks the way we talk about Sam Darnold.
How could he grow in terms of, I feel like we only allow a certain profile of quarterback to ever become elite. And in a way, I understand, right? Like, those quarterbacks can do things not everyone can do. In theory, any top quarterback prospect can and should have a pretty good arm. But how can Sam look even better, theoretically, in 2026? Because I think a lot of people kind of expect regression.
He's got to get away from those 4 interception games. He had 1 this year.
1, and then he had, against the Rams in LA, and then He wasn't great down the stretch. Like, they won that Indy game, but it was kind of quiet day offensively.
He has to constantly be a factor. And there are some games where you didn't worry about Sam Darnold. You had 0 touchdowns against the Indianapolis Colts. He had 0 touchdowns against the 49ers. Granted, he did complete 76% of his passes, took care of the football. You play the game that's necessary to win. You're not going to be great every single game. But I think that he had, 2 300-yard games. It's just always feeling like he's a threat. And sometimes feeling like a threat doesn't mean you're tossing 2 or 3 touchdowns. It just means that when you draw back to pass, people are holding their breath. And I think if he could get a good start to the season, maybe you start feeling that way about him.
And I'm not saying he's got to be Josh Allen, Lamar, like that. By no means am I profiling him to that degree. But, I'm wondering, when's he going to pop up in an ESPN preseason top 10 quarterbacks list? I don't know right now that he'd be on it. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, what's he got to do to be 10? What's he got to do to be 9? Jordan Love's going to be on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's going to be Caleb Williams is going to be on it. There's going to be some guys on there where it's like, okay, what does Sam kind of have to do? Because he's not old enough to say he's old yet.
Yeah.
You can't be like, oh, he's going to hit the wall. He's going to fall off.
So got some work.
Interesting. Get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776. Send it now, coming up at 1:45.
Nothing like facing the Astros just when you need to get right. Man, that's fun to say. Getting well against the Astros, beating the Astros. Mariners own the Astros. Good stuff.
Gone! Grand slam! Dom Canzone, the first of his career.
Today, Game 3 in Houston as the M's go for 3 in a row and the series win. First pitch at 5:10, pregame at 4. Only on Seattle Sports.
When I go to a dealership, I don't want to be pushed into buying something. Sometimes I just want to look around, test drive, check out a few new features. When I went to Wayscar Ford in Auburn, they got that. There was no pressure. It actually turned out to be a pretty fun experience because they were genuinely excited to show me cool features on newer models. They only want to sell you a car if you actually want to buy one. The thing I want most is to be able to trust the person I'm working with. A new car is a huge investment. I have to be honest, I don't know a ton about cars, but I do know it's the second largest thing next to a house that most people will ever buy. So yeah, I want to make sure I'm buying from a reputable place. I want a warranty, and I want to know that I'm covered if for any reason I change my mind. Wayscar Ford has that. A 5-day or 500-mile, no questions asked, 100% money-back guarantee. There's a reason they've been in Auburn for 104 years. Go see them. Wayscar Ford in Auburn. That's wayscarford.com.
Hey, Mike Salk here for all my friends at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. And the show lineup is pretty sick. You like comedy? Chris Tucker, Friday, June 26th. And David Spade on Saturday, August 15th. For music, Hinder is going to be here Friday, July 3rd. And then a little country music, Mitchell Tenpenny on Friday, July 10th. You can go to snocasino.com for all those details. Remember, it's Seattle's closest. It's Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Please game responsibly.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Seattle, last chance to get in the game. Life Surge is coming May 16th, and this is your shot to be there and meet Russell Wilson with a purchase of a VIP reserve ticket. Plus, hear from an elite lineup, Tim Tebow, Robert Herjavec, Sage Steele, and more. This is your opportunity to be equipped to make kingdom impact in your life and business. If you're ready to level up, this is where you show up. Angel of the Winds Arena, Saturday, May 16th. Get your tickets now at lifesurge.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafy, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. Improve your play with 40% off installation or 0% financing for 16 months with equal payments. And we're giving back with 2 $5,000 scholarships for our local youth sports teams. Upgrade your home today at PellaPNW.com.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
Woodworker? Check. Metalworker or material handler? Check. Equipment Sales and Surplus in Auburn offers competitive pricing on leading brands like Jet, Powermatic, Wilton, Bailey, and others. Whether you're a hobbyist or a fabrication shop needing metal forming machines, they have hundreds of machines and accessories. The only dealer offering scratch and dent and discounted items. Check them out in Auburn. EquipmentSalesandSurplus.com. Your go-to for woodworking, metalworking, or material handling. That's EquipmentSalesandSurplus.com.
Mariners and Astros today in Houston. 5:10 first pitch, 4 o'clock pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman speaking to those who have recently been diagnosed with prostate cancer. I spoke with Dr. Meyer, the medical director of the Swedish Radiosurgery Center, and Dr. Meyer said Swedish CyberKnife patients are really satisfied with their experience. They report very few side effects, and they're seeing excellent cancer control 10 years later. To learn more, go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate or call 206-320-7187.
CyberKnife is a registered trademark of Accuray Incorporated and is used with permission.
Spring is a perfect time to make improvements that protect and add value to your home. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. For decades, homeowners across the Pacific Northwest have trusted our team for roofing, siding, windows, and custom decking. This spring, save up to $3,000, or qualified homeowners can take advantage of 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free estimate.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-917-5151. 800-917-5151. 800-917-5151.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Get your questions in for What I Need to Know. It's coming up in about 15 minutes. Any question, text it now. 866-979-3776. Let's revisit that conversation with Brian Baldinger. Now, we just talked about what he had to say about Seattle's defense and Mike McDonald. I want to get back to another part of the conversation. I started it by asking Brian something we'd already been talking about that many, many listeners have texted in about, including even when we were talking about the NFL schedule release, right? The Rams made up like 4 of 10 things we were talking about with that, where people were saying, man, we're not even hearing leaks about this team. Like, it feels a little bit like they're kind of being overlooked and disrespected. So we said, hey, Brian, do you think that's true?
I don't even know how anybody could rank Seattle less than the favorite at this point, because the last time we saw a football game, they were a dominant player in the Super Bowl, and they were pretty dominant. I mean, San Francisco didn't score a touchdown against them. They're in the same division in the playoffs. I don't know how anybody could overlook Seattle, and if they are they worth listening to? Do they know anything?
The last point, just ending it with that, because that was the end of his answer. I was like, oh, okay.
That's refreshing. Because
why?
Because most people don't talk about the Hawks like that aren't in this region. It almost feels like it was a fluke. But when you look at the year that the Hawks had, it definitely was not a fluke. You look at the journey that it took for them to get here, and you kind of understand it. You come out, you take an L to the Niners, 17-13, win 3 in a row, lose to the Bucs, who at the time had an MVP candidate in Baker Mayfield.
They were cooking.
Then you rattle off 4 in a row. You beat teams you're supposed to beat: the Jags, the Texans, who had a good defense at the time. Texas defense was balling. Commanders, Cardinals. You lose to the Rams barely after Sam Darnold throws 4 interceptions. You still had a kick to win that thing. And then you rattle off. You don't win after that. Texans, Vikings, Falcons, Colts, Rams, Panthers, revenge against the 49ers. And the way they did it. Like their defense during that stretch from that loss to the Rams had a game where they didn't give up zero. They gave up 0 points to the Vikings, 9 to the Falcons, 10 to the Panthers, 16 to the Colts. Barely won the game, but still 16 to the Colts, and then 3 to the 49ers. We've said this plenty of times on the show. If you're not putting up 35 points, people aren't really going to look twice at you. But you should be looking twice at 39-7, no matter who it is. You should be looking twice at 26-0. It's rare to pitch a shutout in the NFL. This isn't college or high school. So, yeah, it's refreshing because he's like, duh. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
This team just dominated in the Super Bowl, too.
Another secret theory I have is that the Super Bowl was against an opponent that was such a mismatch and so overwhelmed that people think, oh, it was a Mickey Mouse Super Bowl. It was a little easy. And it's like, well, you have to get there. You had to win 14 games and kind of dominate through the postseason to get there. But I think that being the last game is probably influencing just a tiny bit of it.
Listen, they beat the Rams to get to the Super Bowl, and everyone thought that was the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was.
They still had to go through who everyone has crowned the best team in the NFL in a conference championship game, a winner-go-home game. And people forget that, man.
I have asked both you and Brock Heward when he was a guest on with us last week, well, what do you think is the biggest reason? Their defense is great. They were the number one defense by DVOA. I don't think people are looking at their defense going, I'd like to see just a little more depth at middle line. But, no, that's not what people are thinking. And both of you said the exact same thing, Sam Darnold. Why are there still so many non-believers?
Well, how many quarterbacks in the history of the NFL have won 14 or more games in back-to-back seasons? That's what Sam just accomplished. I mean, there's a handful of guys that can make that claim. And he did it in two different organizations. I don't know how you couldn't and you can't believe in Sam Darnold. He had the league's leading receiver. Nobody thought Jackson Smith and Jigba coming out of Ohio State was going to lead the league in receiving. Well, the quarterback allowed that to happen.
This is one where I'm kind of torn, Bump. I think Sam Darnold is underrated and deserves more credit. And I think that his stretch, and by the way, to answer Baldy's question, only one other quarterback has done it, Tom Brady.
Is it Thomas?
Yeah, it is Thomas. And there's something to be said about that. He's underrated, and there's something to be said for reimagining what a franchise quarterback can look like. However, if I'm being honest and trying to separate some homerism here, of the top 10, 11, 12 players in yards last year, guys that are actually throwing it around, taking chances, far and away leading them in interceptions of 14.
Yeah.
So I think he is underrated, but I also think there are doubts that make sense, and I do understand why some people are hesitant to just buy into a team because of Sam. Whether or not you should buy into a team only because of the quarterback is maybe the conversation that we should be having, but I get it with Sam.
I do too. And because when you think of Super Bowl champions at that quarterback spot, you think of just performances, right? You think of, he wasn't even the Super Bowl MVP. If he walked away as a Super Bowl MVP, then I think maybe people feel different about him. Like Jalen Hurts was the Super Bowl MVP the last time, the year before. Was the year before? Yeah. And he threw for, what did he throw for? Let me pull up real quick. He had 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, also had a rushing touchdown and 72 yards, right? I think because he didn't have a Super Bowl MVP type of performance, that's a knock as well. Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowl rings and 5 Super Bowl MVPs. One went to Deion Branch. I don't know who the other one went to. But that's something that it's almost like he can never do enough, right? I don't see Sam winning a league MVP. I don't see it. I can see him getting to the Super Bowl and having a Super Bowl MVP and winning that and have that type of performance. But there's always something that he hasn't accomplished that people are going to use against him. And so be it. Most quarterbacks haven't accomplished. Sam Darnold has already done something that Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow have not done. And these are the guys that we call elite. They are elite. Not knocking them at all. But it's almost like because we have pigeonholed him for 7 years, 6 years, that he has to do so much more to even be considered like a top 8 or 7 quarterback. which is fine. I get that. I understand that. But he did what was necessary for this team. And it's almost like he's being knocked because, I blame John. I blame Mike McDonald. Why'd you put such a good team around him? All right,
Shame on you guys.
You're diminishing what Sam Darnold could be. When we should be applauding, man. This is a good situation over here, and he's doing what is necessary for them to win.
Does it help someone's confidence if the team around him is good?
Oh yeah.
Obviously, the Rams are also a really good team, but Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is an exceptional quarterback. When the Bengals didn't make the Super Bowl, it was not because of him and Jamar Chase. It was because that defense was pretty horrendous and was getting absolutely picked apart, and it cost them firing their defensive coordinator. So there are certain times when you're like, I don't care how good that quarterback is. I don't have faith in that team. I'm not going to bet on that team per se. But I look at Seattle, I'm like, why can't you bet on that team? Does he even need to be Patrick Mahomes for you to look at the Seahawks and think they should be a Super Bowl favorite?
No, he doesn't. I wonder, it's weird because I feel I'm going back to 13, 14, and the numbers that Russell Wilson put up during those seasons. Let me pull them up real quick. All right, and he was supported by the best defense that this league had seen in a long time, except for it was a 2013 regular season. All right, they went to the Super Bowl in 14, right? 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So one more touchdown than Sam, and 3 or 4 less interceptions, and didn't hit 4,000 yards, which Sam did. Had a 63 percentage completion rate, which Sam was a bit higher. I think at 66 or 67. Why did Russell get more credit than Sam? The style of play that Russ had. Russ had an exciting style of play. I'm rolling outside. I'm holding on to the football. I'm tossing bombs down the field. Sam don't do that. Sam rolls out. Oh, you open in the flat. Boom. Give it to you in the flat. Go ahead and get us 5 or 6 yards. Oh, you're wide open, JSN. Just to hit my back from the go. Boom. Wide open. It's the style, and I think his personality too. You know what? You know that shirt that's going around? No, we got to go. That shirt that's going around with Sam flipping the bird with a cigar in his mouth. Mm-hmm. If he was that Sam, if he was that Sam for real, he'd get more love.
Get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776. That's next.
Nothing like facing the Astros just when you need to get right. Man, that's fun to say. Getting well against the Astros, beating the Astros. Mariners own the Astros. Good stuff.
Gone! Grand slam! Dom Canzone, the first of his career.
Today, Game 3 in Houston as the M's go for 3 in a row and the series win. First pitch at 5:10, pregame at 4. Only on Seattle Sports.
If you've been in a wreck or a fender bender,
You have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility, not just where your insurance company tells you to go. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. With over 25 years of auto repair work, they'll exceed your expectations.
we meet by accident, fixing every last dent. Accurate Auto Body.
At Accurate Auto Body, all their work is performed by certified technicians, only using OEM parts to guarantee the safety of you and your family. For the best in auto body collision repair and customer service, give them a call at 425-883-2450 or AccurateAutoBodyWA.com. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last dent. Accurate Auto Body.
Play with purpose, compete fairly, track progress. Michael Bump is here. A golf handicap does more than just keep score. It helps you enjoy the game more. 1, it helps you set goals that match your actual skill level. 2, it makes competition fun and fair no matter who you're playing with. And 3, it lets you track your progress so you can measure improvement over time. It only takes 3 18-hole rounds to establish your handicap index. Just sign up for a handicap ID, post your scores, and get started. Learn more at wagolf.org/710.
Guys, I'll never forget the first time I saw somebody get results at our clinic. He was an 81-year-old man who hadn't been intimate with his wife in over 8 years. Viagra had stopped working for him, and he was desperate for help. After several treatments, he walked into my office and told me he couldn't believe the results. Needless to say, this was a very happy man. This man made me a believer in what we do. He had taken pills for years, but he had never fixed the problem. When he came to us, we fixed the problem. Our treatment does what no pill can do. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. Change your life today, like the thousands of men who already have.
In addition to treating ED and Peyronie's disease, we now offer testosterone replacement therapy. With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Are you looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, ranging from the low 500s to the high 1 millions, D.R. Horton has the right home at the best value for you. Your new home is within reach, so what are you waiting for? Learn more about the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. Visit drhorton.com and schedule a tour today. D.R. Horton, America's builder. An equal housing opportunity builder.
Rick Riz here for the Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington's Improve Your Play program. Many of our local youth sports teams need help with field enhancements, training, and equipment. Local Pella owners Keith Dashafy and Luke Wilson are stepping up to donate $5,000 to 2 deserving teams. We need your help finding them. Head to seattlesports.com/play to nominate a deserving team in need. Let's help our local youth improve their play this year with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Contest and rules at seattlesports.com/play.
Mariners and Astros today in Houston. 5:10 first pitch, 4 o'clock pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Drivers who switch to Progressive could save hundreds just by bundling home and auto insurance. Because you can't go wrong saving money. Unless you spend it on a guitar and never learn to play it, but lie and say that you did. Then someone hands you a guitar at a party and asks you to play, so you decide to improvise this.
Well, don't you know that but that's not it. Dreams are fun and also good.
Yep, you can't go wrong. Bundling and saving money with Progressive. Well, it depends on how you spend it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The Camping World Ultimate RV Show is coming to Angel of the Winds RV Resort in Seattle. Parking and admission are free. Join us May 14th to the 17th to shop special show pricing on over 200 fully staged new and used RVs. Get an exclusive first look at new models. Check out the latest gear and accessories. Bring the family to enjoy our Kids Zone and enter to win a new RV. Don't miss the Ultimate RV Show in Seattle, May 14th to the 17th. We'll see you there.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
What I need to know, send your questions in 866-979-3776. We were talking about why Sam Darnold gets overlooked. Bump, your final point was just like, look, he doesn't have this flashy style of play, eye-catching style of play. The style that he's doing things is, easier for people to kind of overlook. Someone said, what I need to know, Sam's middle name is Richard. Would he get more love if he changed his name to Dick Darnold? I think so.
His grandpa's name
is Dick Darnold.
Dick Hammer.
Dick Hammer.
Yeah.
No, he wouldn't.
Okay. We retired. I think society retired that one as a nickname for Richard a while ago.
His grandpa was a Marlboro man. Like the Marlboro man.
Maybe if Sam just smoked cigarettes on the field, Jay Cutler style. Just, you know what I mean? Then we're like, oh, that guy's kind of cool. Cigarettes aren't cool, kids. What I need...
Who smokes cigarettes still? If you're not over 50 and still smoking cigarettes, how'd you do it? How'd you get into that?
I think vaping is becoming cooler again among young people.
Well, vaping's different. It's the same thing, but it's different.
Is it different?
Yeah, it's the process is different. Going and saying, "Can I have a pack of cigarettes?" Instead of saying, "Can I get a new cartridge?"
Yeah, I don't know many people.
Well,
smoke
Bump,
at all.
you've got kids that are grade school aged. Is the messaging in grade school still kind of the same as what it was when we were in grade school, where it's like you will die? The
They were
second
like,
you take
your
a puff.
chin will
I
fall
don't know
off.
what they're saying to them, but I know what I say to my kids. And I say, "You will destroy your body."
Yeah.
All right? And they're athletes.
My childhood is filled with those commercials.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what it was called, though.
Dare?
Dare. No,
Yeah.
not just Dare.
Truth.
But there's Truth.
Oh, yeah. Truth and Dare. Wow.
Mhm.
Funny how they did that. Wow.
What's an unreasonable ick you have?
Unreasonable.
I already have my answer to this.
All right, go for it.
Using too many emojis in text messages.
Okay.
If I am texting back and forth with someone, let's say that there's 5 messages being exchanged by either person. All 5 have an emoji. Man, woman, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm already annoyed by you as a person. But it is an ick, certainly, I think, from guys. I'm sorry.
I would say seeing people run with a backpack on. It's weird.
That is so good.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
so good.
There's judgment. You don't know why you're judging him, but
Yeah.
you're like, come on, bro. Be
dude.
serious.
Yeah.
And the backpack's just bouncing back there.
That's
Oh, it's all bad.
exactly right. You look like you're running to catch the bus.
My golfers will understand this, but I understand why people do it, but it just, when you have covers for your irons, it's like you're doing too much now. Covers for your driver, your wood, and your, but iron covers, you might be doing too much.
Matt, do you have one?
People who don't use headphones to listen to music out in public, like people who walk
Okay.
down the trail.
I think that's very reasonable.
Yeah, very
music
reasonable. Not
out
super
loud.
common, though.
Ridiculous.
That's something that I think everyone's like, that's. Do you have an unreasonable one where only you feel that way?
Oh, none that I can say on air without getting fired.
Okay. Well, let's keep it inside. 866-979-3776. What I need to know, are the Mariners going to come home from this current road trip, 2 more against the Astros, by the way, in first place? They're a game under 500.
Yeah, because the A's were going to trick daddy that thing.
The A's are a half game up.
They play tonight, though, or today, right?
Yeah.
St. Louis.
And the Mariners. Curtis, would the A's need to lose, or would the day off make them even if the Mariners played Thursday?
Well, they're just a game back of the A's. The A's.
I thought it was half a game.
No, they're a game back.
Oh, okay. Hate the A's.
A's play Wednesday and Thursday, so
Never mind.
you would have to go at least 1-1. Hope the A's lose 2, or go 2-0 and hope the A's go at worst or at best 1-1. You just got to finish the game.
My answer's maybe. Maybe.
I mean, look, Divish earlier this week when he was on with us was basically like, Mariners just need one good week, and all of a sudden you're going to be in first place again. And they're off to a good start here.
Yeah. What I need to know, what makes a quarterback elite? Lamar Jackson, for example, he's talented, but he also has King Henry, who's elite himself, a defense that was top in the NFL. I'd argue Lamar and Dak could be the problem. They can't win big games, need a good team around them. Both have yet to get a ring. Why do we hold these quarterbacks on the elite level? I don't know that anyone holds Dak Prescott on the elite level.
Nah, every time he's considered elite, he gets hurt or something happens to him. The reason why you hold Lamar Jackson at the elite level is because when he's on, he's on. He's one of the more efficient quarterbacks to ever play the game. Ever. I'm not even making this up.
1,000 rushing yards from a quarterback is crazy.
It's nuts. He changed the game. So, hey, I hear Lamar hating your blood. Get that out.
No,
quickly.
they said I'm not a hater. I'm just genuinely curious what makes a quarterback elite. I think it's being able to do something almost no one else can do.
It's like when someone says not to be rude.
Yeah.
But then you're rude.
But think about it from a game planning point of view, like a guy where you're like, I don't know how to take this out of the game, right? Is that how you think about it?
You
Like,
can't
how
take
do you
that out of the game.
exactly? Like, how do you take what Mahomes can do or Josh Allen, or like, how do you take what Lamar could do completely out of the game? You can't.
How many seasons has Lamar had double-digit interceptions?
One.
Other than that, it's 3, 6, 9. And she fine. You didn't want this soccer tell me I want. Go ahead. Continue.
866-979-3776. What I need to know, who do you think is an even match for OKC between T-Wolves and Spurs? Isn't it about to be the Spurs?
Nah, the Spurs won last night, so they're up 3-2. You know what? I it's either or, man. I think the T-Wolves have more grit, whereas the Spurs just have an alien on their team. So I don't know. My question to you is, someone says no chance Stacey knows who Trick Daddy is. Do you know who Trick Daddy is?
Trick Daddy? Yes. Thank you for the question. He was not the one who had the Cat Daddy song.
No.
Trick Daddy?
Trick Daddy.
He is a young man.
He's old now.
He's old now, but he was really big back in the day.
He was.
And he sang the famous song.
She doesn't know who Trick Daddy is. Okay.
Yeah, I do.
No.
You guys don't. Can I Google this at work? I'm going to do it.
Trick Daddy.
Yeah, you can Google.
I think I know Trick Daddy.
Girl, you know now who represented like me? Nah.
Trick Daddy. Let me see a song.
Girl, you know now. Nah, you don't know Trick Daddy.
Yeah.
He was on one of those garbage Love and Hip Hops too, but you probably don't watch those. A little too cookout for you. Those Love and Hip Hops.
How dare you? How dare you?
A little too cookout.
I watched a little bit of it early. I remember early Cardi B. What I need to know. This is blatantly disrespectful. What I need to know. What's the big deal about a hole-in-one? I've done it numerous times in putt-putt, and Bump didn't even have moving obstacles with his.
That's
true.
a
fair question.
That's true. Because you're putting. I actually had to pull on an iron and put the ball in the air, land it on the green in the right spot, and then it did its own thing. That's why, sir.
From the 206, a point rather than a question. I don't understand when people say so-and-so can only win with a good team around him. Isn't that true of every football player in history?
Facts. There's no garbage teams that win Super Bowls.
That's like when Chris Canty said that Joe Burrow wasn't elite because he didn't get the Bengals to the playoffs, and people were like, well, how is he expected to do that when your defense is giving up like almost 30 points a game or whatever it is? Come on, Stacey. Trick love the kids.
Trick love the kids.
I actually do feel ashamed.
Okay, what's up? Shut up. Nah, man.
What? I'm sorry.
Hey.
I'm sorry.
If you knew who Trick Daddy was, automatic invite to the cookout.
You're never inviting me.
Automatic.
You're never inviting me. I'm never getting it. This is a constant moving goalpost thing. I'm never going to be good enough. You're listening to Bump and Stacy. Thank you again to Brian Baldinger for joining us earlier in the show. Wyman and Bob coming up next. It's fun to say domps. Domps. Domps.
I think
it feels good.
Nothing like facing the Astros just when you need to get right. Man, that's fun to say. Getting well against the Astros, beating the Astros. Mariners own the Astros. Good stuff.
Gone! Grand slam! Dom Canzone, the first of his career!
Today, Game 3 in Houston as the M's go for 3 in a row and the series win. First pitch at 5:10, pregame at 4. Only on Seattle Sports.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. And if you've been dreaming of that new deck, you got to get a hold of PCF. Call them before the great weather arrives and their schedule gets totally filled up. With a new deck, patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy the outdoors year-round no matter what the weather brings. And for a limited time, how about this? Get 50% off demolition costs up to $5,000 when you book your project with PCF. Contact People Come First Construction Group for all the details. They designed and built our outdoor living space, and we love it. Start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build this summer. Planning, permitting, and construction can take a little time, so get started today. Get project ideas, browse their amazing photos, and look at all the offer details at pcfgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space your favorite place with People Come First.
Hi, Andy Klein here. There's something special about a baseball game. The moments and the memories. At Klein Jewelers, that's exactly how we feel about our diamonds. They're a beautiful reminder of life's biggest moments. We're here to help you find the perfect diamond or beautiful piece of jewelry to celebrate your engagement, anniversary, birthday, promotion, or just because. Klein Jewelers by the Fountain in downtown Edmonds. Shine with Klein.
Still planning your summer vacation? Tired of airports and long drives? Anacortes Yacht Charters has a better option.
Cruise the San Juan Islands aboard a fully equipped yacht. Take the helm of a bareboat charter or hire a skipper to explore on your terms. Quiet coves, lively harbors, no schedules. Just a tide guide and a sense of adventure. With a fleet of 50 powerboats and sailboats, AYC has options for groups large and small, from beginner to old salt. Start your San Juan adventure at ayc.com/KIRO.
My first car sale was from Michigan. I get this lead. This guy had been looking for this very specific truck across the whole U.S., and he's concerned about rust. And I'm like, why don't we FaceTime? I will crawl beneath the truck. I literally was on my back beneath this vehicle, showing him all the welds that he wanted to see. He agreed, put down a deposit, held the truck, flew out that night from Michigan. I picked him up at the airport. He had his cashier's check. We went through everything, and that was my first car sale. So here's the catch. If you're willing to put a limit on what you're willing to do to be a good person, to help somebody out, or to help in the community, then that limit exists. So you don't. You just do what it takes to be the type of person you want to be and to help people like you hope that they would help you. And it doesn't matter. You just do what it takes.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
How was your break?
It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code THRIVE25 for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code THRIVE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's Thrive